the biggest names in the game.
Kudrov, score! The Lightning win it!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Following is an exclusive presentation of the Minnesota Wild, the National Hockey League, and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Vision collision as they take on the Colorado Avalanche. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed here with you. Thomas, last two games for the Wild have ended up in the loss column. They've scored just 2 total goals, but it's not for a lack of chances. John Hines talked about that Sunday after a 3-1 loss to the Penguins in this building to kick off the homestand. They just weren't able to capitalize. When a team's scuffling to score, even for just 60 minutes, 120 minutes, whatever it is, how do they get out of it?
Well, just by hard work, Joe. I don't think there's any question about it, but they got to capitalize on those chances, too. Right now, missing the net or hitting the goalpost or hitting the goaltender, having shots blocked is not faring very good for Minnesota at this point. Right now, they've got to find a way to get some goals. There's no question. They've got a number of guys, Joe, as you know, that are not scoring the goals the way that was expected at the beginning of the season, so hopefully that will change tonight.
The Wild still 12 games above 500, 36-24-4, 76 points, 7 points clear of the non-playoff field. Vancouver currently in 9th, the closest team to the Wild that's not in, trying to get in. They do have a game in hand on Minnesota, again, 7 points up are the Wild over the non-playoff pack. As for Colorado, maybe playing their best hockey. Last time these two teams met, Jared Bednar, their head coach, felt they were trending that direction. Wasn't their prettiest game last night, but they won 3-0 at home against Chicago, so it's a back-to-back for the Avs. They're 39-24-2. They now have passed Minnesota for third in the Central. They have 80 points, and they made a lot of changes, like a bunch of these Central Division contenders, Tom, around the trade deadline. All kinds of moves for the Avs. What do you make of their new look roster?
I like it. I like it a lot, what they've done with this hockey club. Also, they've added some experience in this hockey club, face-off ability to this hockey club. They've added some size to this hockey club. And I think that the Colorado Avalanche are a team right now that is on the rise, and that's what you want to be going in the playoffs. You want your angle to be going up, not flat or not going down. Right now, Colorado feels very good about what they've accomplished right now, but Minnesota's got to turn around, and they got to change the tide for them.
To Tom's point, 2 players they added, both familiar names to the Minnesota Wild. Brock Nelson, who hails from War Road, 900-plus games in his career. Charlie Coyle spent a lot of time in Minnesota with the Wild, also 900-plus games in his career. That's just 2 of the names he added. A lot of experience, a lot of size. Good two-way players, John Hines said as well this morning. So this should be an interesting one here tonight. The Wild needing a win. The Avs looking to stay hot. It's the final meeting of the season series, and the puck drops next from St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Hey, Wild fans. This is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Fleury out the challenge. Ovechkin in. Took a shot. Fleury, the glove save!
Wild hockey starts now.
Flashing up his left arm in the Wild win!
Wild hockey on your radio is presented by...
All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. Excel Energy. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see. Catalyst Supply Co. Boost your build. Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild.
Let's play hockey.
Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild. And by Acrosure, helping you take care of what you care about. Find out more at acrosure.com.
And now, live from the arena, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
From the Al Shaver Press Box, Excel Energy Center. We are ready to roll. The Wild and the Avalanche meeting for the final time in the season series. The Avs won the first meeting in this building January the 9th by a score of 6-1. The Wild 11 days later won in Denver 3-1. And then just a couple weeks back, the Avs claimed a 5-2 victory at home. That was a game the Wild had control of. They were leading 2-1. Colorado got the last 4 of the hockey game. It was too easy offensively for the Avalanche when these two teams last met. John Hines said that this morning. We can't give them easy offense, Tom.
And he's absolutely right. And I'm sure the players talked about that. You know, the morning skate, they go through the film sessions and everything they have to do to get ready for this game, Joe. But right now, Minnesota needs a good start. They need that first dropping of the puck to be on Minnesota side and get the legs going, get the legs churning, and make some good things happen offensively.
Yeah, the Wild have dropped 2 straight. The Avalanche won 6 in a row. All came on home ice. We're underway here in the opening period. The Wild from right to left on your radio dial, wearing their green jerseys here this evening. The Avalanche in the opening frame skate from left to right. They are in their white sweaters. Chisholm hooked a pass along, held in by Logan O'Connor. O'Connor left wing boards, fumbled it for a moment. Spurgeon closed on him. It trickled along now for Parker Kelly, the team leader in hits, who was scratched yesterday in their home ice win 3-0 over Chicago. Avalanche look to center. It comes up top, a shot rattled around in front. And Estroza to take it to his right. He was stick checked, but the puck will squeeze free. Foligno back to Chisholm. D-to-D for Spurgeon. And as both teams change, the Wild hack it ahead for a tip-in by Hartman. Or not a tip-in, it's icing.
I thought he tipped it in, but apparently my eyes aren't as good as the linesmen who are closer to the action than I am. But that'll bring the faceoff back deep in the Minnesota end to the right of the man they call Gus. Philip Gustafson, number 32, 6'4", big body out there, big frame also. And when he's hot, he's hot. When he's cold, like most goaltenders. But right now, hopefully this will be a hot game for him.
Hartman and McKinnon on the draw. One back by the Wild. Smacked along by Chisholm, not cleared. Makar, long shot blocked. That broke the stick of Foligno. He just dove then and made a good effort play to get it out the center. Right back over the offensive line come the Avalanche. Left side, Lehkonen through one of the back posts looking for Nathan McKinnon. That didn't connect. Hartman rips it ahead. Boldy ahead of the pack, but it's called icing.
Fans don't like it, but it will bring the faceoff back deep in the Minnesota zone once again. And as a result of that, see if they can win the draw back in their own zone. This has been one of the sore spots for Minnesota all year long, Joe, is this faceoff, especially in the defensive zone. That has not been good for them. And we'll see if they can. Once you lose possession of the puck in your own zone, boy, you are chasing it. By the time you get it, you don't know what to do with it. You're too tired to do anything with it.
And Tom, the Avalanche are actually below the Wild. They're third to last in the league in the faceoff circle, but adding Brock Nelson, adding Charlie Coyle, 2 guys that can take draws. I noticed that last night against Chicago, they won 55% of the faceoffs. My guess is as the year moves along, the playoffs loom, the Avs will rise up a bit in their faceoff percentage.
Oh, I would think so. There's no doubt. I mean, it's a different game once you get into playoffs. The whole game changes. You know, what you've done in the past during the regular season means nothing. Now, all of a sudden, you're playing to try to win the Stanley Cup, and that's the ultimate goal right now. And that'll go through to the, mid-June.
That last sequence there, while we were talking about faceoffs, Hartman was able to float a shot from somewhat long range, just gobbled up by Mackenzie Blackwood. And an offensive zone draw now for the Wild, finally able to finish that line change. because of a couple of icing calls early on Minnesota. Colorado comes through center ice here. I think Valerie Nichushkin handed it along. And now it comes to the blue line where Nichushkin was covering. Malinsky, a center point shot. That went wide. Faber bottled up. Man open in front, but Rossi broke up a feed. That was intended for Brock Nelson as Matt Zuccarello carries ahead and flings it in for the Wild. Almost 2 minutes gone by in the opening period. Again, the Wild from right to left on your radio dial. The Wild losing both games their last 2 times out, but they outshot their opponent in each of those games. Just 7 regulation losses all year for the Wild when they outshoot their opposition, but again, back-to-back games of that variety. 1 shot per side. Avalanche with a breakout here. Josh Manson, who missed a handful of games a few weeks back. Four Nations face-off break helped him heal up. He didn't miss as many games as he would have maybe in a regular season because of that gap in schedule. As Johansson lifts it along, Freddie Gaudreau slowed down at center. Second effort by Gaudreau, pinned up by the Avalanche bench by Yoel Kiviranta, who's got a career-high 14 goals for Colorado, including 1 last night. Puck dug free by Minnesota. Nyquist left it back. Now eventually Merrill gains the red line left side, hammers it in as he was bumped by Ross Colton. Colton's got 3 goals and assists against the Wild in the season series. Chisholm to try to slow down Colton on a breakout attempt by the Avs. The Wild hold in. Now Gaudreau right side. Let the puck come to the point. Spurgeon. D-to-D Chisholm. Waits. Fired a shot that clanged off a body and skips to the left where Parker Kelly was a goal in the season series. Flies it out to center. The Wild regroup. Both teams change on the fly. Chisholm hit hard by Kelly. And remember, the Ottawa Senators is now Colorado comes over the blue line with Jack Drury. Another member recently acquired by the Avs via trade. They made more than their fair share of trades throughout this season, including getting both of their goaltenders via trade about a third of the way through the campaign. Yakov Trenyon now for Minnesota, trying to squeeze it back of his net. Malinsky had it. The defenseman had pinched in. The Wild take it away. It's bunted along for Middleton, who banks it in open ice, where Brazo, ahead of the pack, negates icing. Justin Brazo in his 3rd game with the Wild. In on the forecheck went Trenyon as well. Colorado skates it ahead with Malinsky, hitting the red line, then the offensive blue line before chopping it deep. Faber banks it off his end wall, reverse right side, Devon Shore to Zuccarello. Zuccarello hits the center line and fires it in. Each team pretty content to work pucks in the early going.
Yeah, they really are. You watch them also when they dump the puck, usually into the corners where the goaltender can't get to it. And Minnesota just doing a good job of controlling things until almost lost it in their own defensive zone.
Yeah, Rossi hounded in a dangerous spot by McKinnon. Now Natchez to the point. Devon Taves a long drive. That pinballed around. Skips free for Zuccarello, who tried to go rink wide, but Cale Makar on the backside pressure swipes that away.
Well, a guy like Makar, he has been so good for this hockey club also. You're looking at his season right now. 24 goals, 51 assists, 75 points. Number 1 in the National Hockey League for defensemen.
Zuccarello right wing corner. Bottled up. Boldy dug it free. Right circle Rossi. Rossi firing a shot at tips wide. Zuccarello tries the pressure, but charging ahead with it is Nelson. Nelson over the blue line, handed one off towards the left circle, batted away by Brock Faber. Nichushkin got it back, a centering feed, glove save Gustafson on the one-timer by Jonathan Drouin. That came off of Brock Nelson's setup.
Yeah, Brock Nelson with some speed out there too, and that's the one guy that Minnesota would have liked to have in the lineup. There's no question about it, being a Minnesota guy and what he can do in the face-offs and what he can do in the scoring goals and bring that leadership on the ice. He certainly has done that, and I'm sure he's looking forward to be a part of this hockey club going into the playoffs.
Tom Boldy, Rossi, Zuccarello reunited here. We've seen the line juggling at a pretty good clip for John Hines' group the last few games. What do you make of 12, 23, and 36 back together again?
Well, you hope it's going to work out for them. I mean, they've had good success in the past. They've faltered for a number of games, but now being back together might be that confidence builder the team is looking for. But they've got to work it as a unit, and they've got to have a lot of communication, a lot of discussion on the bench, and especially on the ice.
Here is Hartman centering Foligno and Hinostroza. Gaudreau centers Nyquist and Johansson as well for the Wild, and the 4th line remains unchanged. Short center ice with Trenyon and Brazo. Back in his own zone, a tap along is Ryan Lindgren, former New York Ranger. And now through center ice, Charlie Coyle had his pocket picked by Hinostroza. Hartman, who had the only goal for Minnesota Sunday, got it up ice to Foligno. He was stripped by Kiviranta. Bogosian back, pounded off the boards. Kiviranta holds in. Hartman checks him. Foligno to the puck. Dumped there momentarily by Colton. And now Hartman able to bat a puck out of midair, settle it down, and knife it along for Foligno. Over the offensive blue line right side, Marcus Foligno curled it in the corner. The heavy hitting early in this hockey game continues as Hinostroza pasted along the glass by Josh Manson.
Yeah, and you're right, Joe. The one thing I was going to mention is the fact that right from the drop of the puck, the Avs did a nice job physically in this game.
Spurgeon outlets. Gaudreau up looking for Nyquist. Johansson trying to win the foot race. Can't. Another icing here on Minnesota.
Well, attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long with the Forever Wild Reward points. Enter the code HEROIC. That's HEROIC to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow. He's deep in the Minnesota zone to the left of Philip Gustafsson.
Off the draw, Makar shot. That sailed wide. Kicked off the end wall for Martin Necas. He'll find Taves for a shot. Gustafsson juggled it. Popped the rebound away from trouble. Johansson now cuts below his own goal line. Tapped it around, but Necas waiting for it. Looked for McKinnon. Nothing there. Chisholm a good feed to Nyquist. Immediately gobbled up. Not a lot of time and space for the Wild to try and execute here as the puck deflects into the Minnesota bench and our first TV timeout. 6:12 expired time in the opening period. No score from St. Paul. The Wild and the Avalanche. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hi, this is Will Arnett from Smartless, a podcast I do with my pals Sean Hayes and Jason Bateman, with special guests from Howard Stern, Trevor Noah, David Beckham, Kelly Clarkson, to a few presidents. It's an unscripted, unrehearsed, but hopefully not unprepared podcast. We'll cover topics like doing limbo for self-esteem, skydiving hungover to work early on the SiriusXM app. Just search Smartless to join the fun.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Team Canada's John Cooper. Was the moment the red light went on better than you ever could have imagined?
I don't even think I could have dreamt that one up. From Mario Lemieux all the way to the Jordan Binnington moment to the Connor McDavid moment, all these little moments have built up that all the team gave us special moments you'll never forget. I think our game of hockey is in a much better place because of that event.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favourite team.
Well, 13:48, I'm told, is what is remaining here in the first period. No goals as of yet. Faceoff is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone to the right of Philip Gustafsson. The doors close. They're locked in position, and they're ready to drop the puck.
Faceoff features Gaudreau and McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon hit 1,000 career points last night. It's off the draw. Taves uncorks a shot high and wide. Makar follows it up, paddling along for McKinnon. Became the 100th player in NHL history. Hit the 1,000-point plateau. Currently leads the NHL with 102 points this season. Johansson off the rush, had his centering feed knocked away by Makar. Comes free to Lehkonen, who leads his team in goals. Now Taves feeding along Necas. Foul McKinnon, left circle a shot. Blocker save Gustafsson. Rebound found by the Avalanche. It swung along McKinnon. Dancing with the puck up top Taves. Left side Makar has a lane. Fired one. And the iron unkind.
Yeah, you hear that one.
Again, everything I gathered, I didn't watch the Avalanche play the Blackhawks last night. They didn't play very well, Colorado. They have come to play in this hockey game 7 minutes in.
Yeah, they were not happy with the way they executed things last night. They're turning it around here tonight.
Girard spins. Boldy hounds him. Samuel Girard, the former Nashville Predator. No center. Cut off by Middleton. Was a goal and assist against the Avs in the season series. So flipping it open ice, hoping for Zuccarello. Beaten there by a stride, though, by Nichushkin, who laid it along, and a clearing attempt by Malinsky gets out the center. Nelson played it rink wide. Nichushkin carries in around the net of Gustafsson. Leaned on by Chisholm. It's moved up top Malinsky to Girard. Backhands it from the right point down low. Spurgeon checked there, but over to support Chisholm. He'll curl up and then feed Zuccarello. The Avalanche changing. He's got some real estate. Matt Zuccarello try to pass ahead that was knocked away by Nelson. Gerard bounces it off the boards. Kiviranta slowed down by Spurgeon, and taking over is John Merrill.
Yeah, good play by Spurgeon. Also just took out two players right along the boards there. Not by knocking him down, just taking them off the puck, allowing Minnesota to pick up the puck in their own zone.
33-year-old John Merrill, who next season conceivably could hit 700 career games. Hands his puck to Zuccarello, right back to Merrill. He just stashed it out to center. Avalanche come over the blue line. Coyle swung it off the end wall. Colton behind the net. Kiviranta met there by the thump of Trenyon. Puck came free where Coyle got it to the point. Manson tried a stick handle pass and pressure. Eventually lost it to Trenyon, who swats at it. Rossi didn't get it out. Ross Colton tries to throw it towards the slot. Kiviranta had some trouble with it, but the Avalanche stay in the offensive zone.
Well, the Avalanche are really moving their legs, Joe. They got a lot of speed.
Ryan Lindgren pinched in and swooped it around the Wild end boards. Manson now curls it to the blue line. Coyle covering there to the left circle. Fresh off the bench with a shot was Parker Kelly. It was blocked by Trenyon. But Colorado wins another foot race. They're getting fresh bodies onto the ice here, maintaining puck possession as a long wrister from Jack Drury went wide. McCarr gallops to it. McCarr spins it along to Drury through the slot. Good stick by Spurgeon, but he's been out there an eternity. Taves now. D to D McCarr. Watched by Brazo. McCarr able to shake free. All the way down low. Cale McCarr around the net of Gustafson. Right circle. Pivots. Fired one. Blocked by Brazo. He'll gather it. Had to play it deeper in his own zone because of the pressure of Kelly. Merrill to Spurgeon. Right wing pass Rossi. And now out through center for Brazo, who wanted to dump it in. Swiped away by McCarr. But he fumbled it back away to the big fella Justin Brazo, who hits the late man coming Hartman. Hartman peels at the point. Middleton a hurried shot blocked by Logan O'Connor. Puck bounces back out to center. Middleton's pass stolen by Drury at the end of his shift. He'll sweep it in. Back comes Middleton, pressured by O'Connor, so he rolled it to the right side. Faber curls away from Arturi Lehkonen. And it's bounced along now for Middleton, left side, just to safely scoop ahead. Natchez, bothered by Hinostroza, so Martin Natchez deep in his own zone, reversed the puck, and Foligno made him pay for that. Avalanche so with McKinnon, a full head of steam, trying to get around Middleton. Middleton leaned on him perfectly and canceled him off his path towards the front of the net.
Yeah, good defensive play. Don't worry about the puck. Just shake the man off the play, and that's what he did to McKinnon.
Avalanche steal again on the forecheck. They center. Natchez fanned on a bid, then got his stick lifted, ended up in a heap. Foligno started it ahead. Hartman drops it back. Hinostroza slows the pace down at center. Nearly lost the puck. Regathers. Weaves it along Chisholm. Onside left circle. Declan Chisholm threw one in front. Nobody home. Foligno to it, carved it around the boards. Chisholm holds in left point, ripped it rink wide, it kicked free fortuitously. Freddie Gaudreau trying to stash it in front, but that was broken up. Pinching in Bogosian, a hurried shot. Blackwood the save. Foligno tried to get to the rebound. He's able to find Freddie Gaudreau. Just over 9 minutes to go in the opening period. Avalanche have controlled the pace and the play, but it's still scoreless here in St. Paul. Charging in Brock Nelson, checked there by Chisholm. Nyquist around then to Bogosian, banked off the right wing boards. Marcus Johansson finds Gaudreau, gains the red line, spikes it in on his backhand. Back for it, Josh Manson, his clearing attempt hit Johansson, kicked free in front. Nyquist dancing with it, and he couldn't get a shot through some traffic, elected to try and pass, and that's broken up. Eventually Spurgeon inside his own blue line, back on it for Minnesota, able to connect with John Merrill. Merrill gains the offensive line, fires it in, then peels back as Lindgren angles it around to the left side looking for Nelson. Nelson's feed hit Johansson. He's at the end of his shift. He'll settle a puck down right side, guided to Merrill, hacked along hoping for Middleton. Middleton was swallowed up immediately by the pressure of the Avalanche. Here's Devin Shore to step through. Shore wanted the center, and a block there by Colton kept Trenyon at bay. McCarr now to a loose puck, bounced it off the boards. Colton taps right back to McCarr, full head of steam. Good stick though by Faber, slowed him down, and the Wild chisel it back out to center.
Yeah, good pace of the game. Both teams skating very well at this point.
It feels like the Wild have picked up their pace a bit.
They have.
Which is certainly a nice sight considering Colorado, again, appeared ready for this one. O'Connor in the neutral zone strip. Zuccarello got it back. Whoa, he was looking for Rossi. It was a touch too far. He had some space. Boldy now on the forecheck right side. Tries to come up with a loose puck. Taves angled it around his end wall. Zuccarello and McCarr come together. McCarr just stabbed at it. Wild forecheck causing some havoc here. Merrill chunked it along. Rossi rims it around the boards. Bogosian pinches in. Let it come back to the man covering there, Zuccarello. To the right circle, Rossi trying to dance past some pressure. Swept it around Bogosian. Back of the net now, Boldy. And the net off its pegs. As Boldy went to center, Blackwood with his skate just kicked the net off.
Yes, he did. Is that delay of game? Apparently not.
So,
Boldy's looking around like, is there a call here? Why the whistle? Well, we know why the whistle went. The net was not in position.
7:15 to go in the first. They have not indicated we're taking a TV timeout, so we'll hang right here. Wild had some pressure in the offensive zone. Tom, I remember a couple years back, was it Toronto? There was a game here where the goaltender's name is escaping me, but the net came off its pegs like 5-6 times in that game.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you talking about that also, Joe. And I remember also there was a situation where there was a two-man breakaway, and the goaltender just took the net and tipped it over.
Yeah.
So he got a penalty. Big deal. That's probably better than having 2-0.
Yeah. Better chance to kill it off. We're back to live action. Boldy down below the goal line. Help coming from Rossi. You know, maybe in hindsight, I should research some of these points before I just say, do you remember the time? O'Connor.
What are we talking about?
O'Connor couldn't catch a head-manning pass. It's icing on the Avalanche. Tom, with Colorado's roster is different. We talked about they have a lot more depth than maybe that one-line team we thought of earlier in the year when they started slowly. They're 26-12-2 in their last 40 games. They have new pieces. They're going to have time to get them all together. But they've got to scratch some guys. Healthy scratches nightly right now. Established NHL players got to buy into that.
Yeah, they're going to have to. There's no question about it. They've got a good hockey club. They've got a lot of horses that they can use in the run here to the finals. And you want to make sure you're getting the right guys off at the right time also. You don't want to take them out of a situation where they're playing well and have that confidence. All of a sudden they start to falter a little bit. So it's a decision by the coaches, but the players have to buy into and believe what the coach is doing.
Miles Wood, for example, 500 games in his career, healthy scratch tonight. Eric Johnson back with the Avs for a second stint, healthy scratch. There's a penalty call here coming on Colorado. Hartman got dumped side of the cage. And a point shot fought off by Blackwood. The Wild are going to get the game's first power play.
Yeah, Hartman is drawing a few penalties as of late, which is a good thing. At least he's not taking any of those situations. Here is the call, I do believe.
Colorado number 7, minor penalty for roughing.
That's Taves going to the penalty box in the roughing call. Minnesota on the power play.
6:27 left in the scoreless first. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Scoreboard update.
Games in progress include in Boston, the Panthers have a 1-0 lead over the Bruins. Dmitry Kulikov, former Wild defenseman, with his 4th of the year. Devils took a 3-0 lead over the Blue Jackets after 1. Blue Jackets have scored twice in the second. Well, the Devils just answered. Still, Devils lead the Blue Jackets 4-2, 3:11 left to go in the middle frame. Flyers and Senators knotted at 2 apiece. The Pens lead the Golden Knights 2-0, 5:51 left to go in the second. Both goals go to Sidney Crosby. He had a pair against the Wild on Sunday. He's got another pair tonight at home against the Golden Knights. That's all the time for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, Minnesota on the power play right now. They've had a power play goal in 3 consecutive games. They've got 9 in their last games they played. They picked up a power play goal. And one of the things is, Joe, when you look right now, Minnesota's got to win these draws in the offensive zone. This will help them. The offense, they can get that first goal, especially with a man advantage.
In the power play early Sunday, as John Hines said, it was like they were trying to pass the puck into the net. The last opportunity, the last couple, they had more of a shooter's mentality.
And I think also part of it, too, Minnesota is not crashing the net enough. They've got to get more bodies in that blue paint area in the opposition.
They're right off a one face-off, a blast by Boldy, snared by Blackwood. Boldy 7th in the league in shots. Sunday he had 6 on goal and 15 attempts. Just not getting the pucks to find the back of the net like he was early in the season. His shooting percentage way down from the start of the campaign. Faber off another one. Faceoff finds Boldy. Slip back along to Faber. He had to grab it off the left wing boards. Resets the power play. It's moved along to Boldy. They'll switch places. Boldy rolls it to Faber. Back to Boldy at the left point. Left wing side, Zuccarello hacked it towards the front of the net. Rossi battles for it. Won the war. Got it up top. Faber a shot that glanced off a body. Boldy charges to it. Churned it around the dasher, but it's too hot to handle. Leaked back the other way.
Yeah, he's hoping the defenseman be on the far side, but they had already leaked over to the other side, so that allows the puck to come all the way down into the Minnesota zone.
And a chance for Boldy to kind of be a little bit more up top, it looks like, at least in this first power play try, or at least that sequence. Sometimes guys obviously rove around a lot on the man advantage based on scenarios and how things play out, but Boldy back there with Faber. Again, one of the Wild's best shooters is Matt Boldy.
And the thing is, Joe, when you have a power play like this, you want to get into the offensive zone, obviously, and set things up to get those shots in. You may not get a lot of shots, but you want to make them count when you do get them.
Zuccarello left circle, down low, Boldy had it slashed away by McCarr. Back of the net, it's rescued by Boldy and sent along to Rossi. 48 seconds ago in the power play. Center point Faber. Angled it to the right side, Boldy. Surveys. Now it's just Faber up top as Boldy shoots one. Came down in front, a couple of whacks. And Rossi now getting wrestled down to the ice because he took a chop or two at Blackwood that the Avalanche didn't appreciate.
Well, the puck was in the goaltender's glove, and that's Rossi just going for it, thinking it might pop out there. Did not happen. As a result, a little bit of a shoving match going on, but no damage done, no penalties being called, and Minnesota's still on the power play for another 39 seconds with Taves in the penalty box for the Avalanche.
Hartman, Goudreau, Johansson, Nyquist, and Spurgeon for Minnesota, with Nyquist stationed to the left of Spurgeon about 30 feet outside the faceoff dot. Parker Kelly and Hartman on the draw. Kelly muscled it back, failing to get much on his clearing attempt, though, was lingering, so the Wild come up with it. Stashed the point, Spurgeon hustled it along Nyquist. Good patience there to sneak past a bit of trouble. Well, then the white jerseys swarm and angle it back the other way.
Yeah, you're waiting for that puck to come to you, as Nyquist was trying to do there, but it was coming so slow, and all of a sudden that area shut down with the Avalanche right on the top of him.
Johansson to Goudreau, back to Marcus Johansson, lost it near the offensive blue line. It's chunked back the other way, scurrying to it Spurgeon. Feeds Hartman, the dying second to the power play. A left wing bank pass Johansson, gives it back to Hartman. Able to chisel it in. Lindgren's back to hustle it around the boards. Faber, fresh off the bench, held in right point. Fired a shot. It was blocked. Penalty is over. Taves is out of the box. Lehkonen knuckled it along looking for McKinnon. McKinnon trying to sneak through a sea of green. Nothing there. And Marcus Johansson has it for Minnesota. Back behind his own net.
Yeah, Minnesota's done a nice job. They had a little bit of a slow start, but they certainly picked up the pace.
Avalanche steal. Lehkonen a wrister blocked. That hit Faber. Hobbles him a hair. And it's Hartman to just bang it out to center.
Good play by Hartman. Also gets the puck halfway down the ice, but no icing call in the play, so no face-off in the Minnesota zone.
Natchez, who was traded from Carolina in late January, comes free off the rush with a chance for Lehkonen, and that glances out of play. Down to 3:50 left in the opening period. Still scoreless between the Wild and the Avs here in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
Well, we've got 3:50 to go here in period number 1. No goals as of yet. Minnesota's taking the lead in the shooting department also. They picked up their pace. The shots right now 4-3, and the faceoff is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone to the man they call Gus. Gus the Bus. Had a tough year last year, but certainly has changed it around this year, Joe. You go back 2 years ago, he was terrific, and he's certainly picked up the pace again this year. The little blip in between, but those the things you want pushed on the outside, and just remember all the good times.
Nelson and Gaudreau on the face-off. Now Nelson thrown from the circle, so McKinnon comes in to take it. He's second in the league in shots on goal behind only the Bruins' David Pasternak. Mentioned earlier, leading the league in points. Right side, Nyquist got it up, not quite out. Gaudreau able to follow it up and pump it out through center. The other thing that John Hines talked about this morning, Tom, is that the Wild, when they get a chance in the offensive zone, they need to make the Avalanche try and sort it out defensively. So curl-ups, cut-ups, whatever you want to call them, look for the late help, make Colorado defend by kind of piecing together who's where. That's not an area where they're super strong.
Yeah, and that's where the structure has to come in with your hockey club also, Joe. And the one thing is you want to, with a team like Colorado, you don't want to give them any opportunities. You want to make sure you've got good possession in your own defensive zone. But when you go to the offensive part of it, that's where you really want to open things up.
Numbers here for the Wild. 3-on-2, Nyquist hands it back to Middleton. Smacked into the right wing corner, Nyquist. Fanned on his centering feed, but Johansson's able to grab it. The Wild stay in the offensive zone. Left point, Chisholm a shot. Sent it wide looking for a bank. It came free for a wraparound try by Devon Shore, but Blackwood able to make the save.
Yeah, Blackwood just grabbing onto that puck, no question about it. He knew that there were some dark green jerseys around him, so just grab onto it and hope that they can win the draw coming out of it. But right now, Minnesota has won 58% of the draws, which is highly unusual for us. We like that when it happens, and we'll see how they do in the offensive zone now, Ray, at this point.
Avalanche have a minus goal differential in the first, a -9. They get much better from there in period scoring and goal differential scoring throughout the hockey game. They've also, like Minnesota, scored first 38 times, tied for the most in the league. But it's a scoreless game thus far. And after talking pretty glowingly about the Avalanche and their start, they have just 3 shots here in the opening frame. The Wild all of a sudden have mustered 5 in the opening period.
And the Wild really have picked up the pace. I think they're a little bit cautious at the beginning of it, a little bit nervous maybe perhaps. They didn't want to give up that first goal, and neither team able to score right now. Minnesota's leads in that department 5-3.
Gustafsson out, pokes it along. Spurgeon, good pass for Trenyon. Trenyon over the blue line, just kind of flips it into the left wing corner. He's wrapped up there. That was Malinsky taking him to the glass, and now Josh Manson sails it off the boards, then maybe off Bogosian. It ends up in the Avalanche player bench with 2:09 to go in the opening period.
Well, celebrate Pride Night with us on Thursday night, presented by Health Partners. Get your Pride ticket pack, which includes a game ticket, an exclusive Wild Pride crossbody bag, and a donation to the Twin Cities Pride. Purchase your tickets today at wild.com/pack.
Rossi, Boldy, Zuccarello, Middleton, and Faber for the Wild. Rossi thrown from the circle. Boldy comes in to take it against McKinnon. McKinnon able to free it up for Manson. Manson floats it into the air. Middleton batted at it. Trickles into the Wild slot. Faber just ahead of Natchez. Angles it through center. Lindgren turns it over. Boldy step past in trouble. He's got some space right side. Boldy trying to cut in front. His wrist shot stopped.
Nice play by Boldy, and once again you saw the quickness of that stick being moved by the quickness of those hands also. And Boldy came in from the right side there, tried to go to the backhand, then the forehand, and finally just spits the puck in front, gets a shot, but unfortunately the goaltender able to make the save.
He turned Nathan McKinnon around, who was a bit flat-footed as he intercepted that pass. McKinnon hustled back. Boldy with that sharp cut to the middle of the ice, Tom. Got off a good-looking chance.
Yeah, McKinnon's so quick, too. Make a mistake. When you've got that speed, you can usually rectify that mistake by using that speed to the back end of the play. But Boldy did a nice job there. He's the guy that we talk about, Joe, has to really step up and get some confidence in this game by getting some goals.
Draw to the left of Mackenzie Blackwood, has got a career-high 24 wins, traded from the Sharks in December. With the Avalanche, a 2.22 goals against average for Blackwood. He watched as Scott Wedgwood got the win for the Avalanche last night at home over the Blackhawks, pitching the 20-save shutout. Minnesota gets this puck safely through center. Back to grab it is Lindgren. Made his Avalanche debut on March the 4th. Acquired from the Rangers with Jimmy Vesey. That was a trade that had a couple of bodies and picks involved. Here's Hartman now from Minnesota. Vesey's a healthy scratch for the Avs here tonight. Hartman drops it off. Hinostroza spun it blindly. And nobody there except for Jack Drury, the Avalanche, who leads the rush the other way. Drury to the left circle. A shot glove save. Gustafsson. And the loose puck shuttled out to center ice by Hartman. With the Avalanche a 3-on-2 off that giveaway by Hinostroza. Here's Nelson stepping over the blue line. Lost it. Foligno paddles it back. Merrill deep in his own zone. Banked it off the board, but swooping to that is Nichushkin. Nichushkin to Drouin. Drouin tried to center. Foligno steals. Numbers for the Wild if they wanted a 3-on-2. Foligno hits the blue line. Carved it along Chisholm. Left side. Spins up. And then just rattled one down back behind the net. Where Nyquist got some help from Gaudreau, and the Wild come up with this puck. However, Johansson, covering back at the blue line, fumbled it out to center. 30 seconds left, period 1. No score. Nyquist at the offensive blue line couldn't handle a pass cleanly. McCarr deals it along Lehkonen. Speeds it to Natchez. He's got some room. Natchez dropped it back. McKinnon with a shot blocked. Good job by Middleton and Nyquist to close, and that puck went way up and over the netting.
Yeah, they got their stick on that puck. That shot coming in there goes over the netting, as you pointed out, Joe, and that was a huge save also. 14.1 second remaining in the hockey game. Minnesota in the lead in the shots department 6-5, but no goals, and the faceoff will be to the right of Philip Gustafsson.
Coming up at the first intermission, Heather Weems, commissioner of the NCHC, will be up here in the Al Shaver press box. Talk about the NCHC tournament coming up here. The final year it'll be at Excel. Nelson thrown again from a face-off circle. And again, McKinnon in to take it. Nelson will line up over his right shoulder. The Wild have to be wary of that. Quick pullback and shot. Final 14.1 seconds of the first. Gaudreau couldn't win it. Nelson's hurry shot blocked. Natchez off the end wall. Jammed it through the blue paint. Nobody there. 10 seconds left in the period. McCarr activates, through one in front. It deflects along. Kicks all the way back through center. And that's going to take us to the first intermission.
Well, it does exactly that. Minnesota leads in the shooting department 6-5. No goals as of yet, but a good period by Minnesota. A little bit of a slow start. I think just being a little bit cautious of the opposition, but they picked up their pace, and when they did that, they got some chances.
Timeout here. First intermission follows this. Recap of all the action so far. And again, Heather Weems, NCHC commissioner, from the Al Shaver press box. Stick around for all that. No score after 20. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is getting you ready for free agency.
You're starting to think about who's the best value player.
Which superstars will be on the move?
And Aaron Rodgers puts it right in his hands.
Can your team find its missing piece?
You can't get too aggressive with the cap, otherwise you may limit yourself in the future.
NFL Radio has you covered with the latest news and transactions from around the league. Follow free agency on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
We welcome Utah's Barrett Hayton. Does the P word come up? Do you look at the standings on a daily basis?
You look at the standings, you obviously know what other teams are doing, but at the same time, we know what we have to do. And we talked about it kind of before the break and using the break to kind of have a springboard to this last stretch, kind of be dialed in and feeling good right from the start and trying to build that momentum.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 Hockey Talk.
Pittsburgh is the weirdest situation. It's like the start of the year and you tried to pretend that, we're going to do a retool on the fly. No, you're not. They're terrible, but the attitude, nothing to look here. Keep moving. No, Sid wants to play. They're terrible. Like Sidney Crosby's next game that matters is the Olympics. That could be the only time he plays again in a game that matters.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to. If he played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Berfinra.
Back in St. Paul, we're through one period between the Wild and the Avalanche. Scoreless. A good first 20 minutes for both squads as we make our way towards period number 2. First, we got to talk a little NCHC Frozen Faceoff back in St. Paul for the final year. To talk about that and more, we bring in the commissioner of the NCHC, Heather Weems. Don't tell me that you guys are going away after this year. We don't want to hear that.
I know, Kevin. I was thinking about it. I actually am bookending it. I was at the University of Denver the year the Excel opened, 2000, 2001.
Okay.
They were here, played, I believe, in the championship game.
Yeah.
Lost to St. Cloud State, which is where I ended up. So a little bit of full circle coming here, but
right.
Yes, very bittersweet. This is just such a phenomenal facility, and the staff are second to none. So certainly sad to be leaving, but what a great partnership we've had in not just in the NCHC, in college hockey.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's been so much fun to have that tournament here, and we can talk about what's coming up down the line, but let's concentrate on the here and now. The final one is going to be March 21st to the 22nd. You got the semifinals on Friday, ended on Saturday with a nice doubleheader with the Minnesota Wild. Tell me about the event. What's going to be going on around here beyond just the hockey? Sounds like you got some cool stuff happening across the street, too.
Absolutely. We start on Thursday. We do our own internal awards ceremony, but we've also got Smorgies is hosting the Fan Fest on Friday. Yep. Thursday night, if fans want to come out, there's an open skate that starts at 6:30, and then obviously the Fan Fest, and then coming into the games. At this point, we don't know who's going to be here, right. But games are at 4 and 7:30, and then again on Saturday night we'll be at 7:30, and with activities at Smorgies starting at 3.
So if you wanted to be involved in the skating, the open skate, or any of the other stuff, do you have to sign up for it in advance, or just show up, bring your skates, and have some fun?
You can show up and bring your skates. We will not have skates for you, but if you want to get a touch of the big ice and the big eyes and dream a little bit, this is a great place to come.
Awesome. Again, semifinals on Friday, March 21st, 4 and 7:30, just like Heather said. The championship on Saturday at 7:30. Opportunity for a doubleheader, too. Not only the NCHC at night, but the Wild have a matinee. How about that? You make a full day of it down here in St. Paul.
It is a full day, and obviously by the time you get to the championship game, you've got great teams. You've got the Wild playing really just a day full of hockey.
So I'm looking at the NCHC, and I'm looking at the standings. I'm looking at the pairwise. You guys are all over it. I see Western Michigan. I believe they're up there towards the top. They might be 2 or 3 now as far as the standings go. Denver, I think, is number 6. Arizona State at number 12. You guys are all over there in the top 15.
Yeah, we are. We started off maybe a little slower than we would have liked in non-conference play, and that hasn't always helped our pairwise. But as we finish up, the consistency has come around. And again, we've got some teams that are just hard to beat. Western Michigan's bringing in. They're really a complete team. Denver is won the national championship last year, and they've got a lot of players back. And Arizona State coming to the NCHC for the first time, so this has been a great year for them as well.
Yeah, how much fun has it been having Arizona State? And then, of course, they're playing quite well beyond everything else, but adding them into the mix, it must be nice.
I think it's great. I mean, obviously, from a college perspective, they're the farthest west. It grows the footprint of college hockey, and there isn't anybody who complains about having to spend a weekend in Tempe.
Yeah, no doubt. Meanwhile, you look at the power in that conference, and we got to mention DU. the defending national champions. In fact, NCHC, as I went back and looked, 6 of the last 8 titles in the last 8 years in college hockey. Obviously, the power is there in the NCHC, but you've got a good school in DU. Not only that, but the guy that leads it in David Carl, one of the great guys and one of the great minds in college hockey.
Absolutely. We've seen that in the World Juniors the last couple of years. Obviously, World Juniors coming here next year.
Yes.
So just a lot of energy there. I would just say from top to bottom, really a fantastic group of coaches, and they're the heart of what we do. They're the ones who do the recruiting and bring the talent.
How is life in college hockey these days? I know there's some big hurdles to overcome, and as the commissioner, you got to deal with it on an everyday basis. But when I look at how things are going in the NCHC, everything's good, at least from on the ice. What is it like from your vantage point in your office?
Yeah, I think, part of it with all the changes in the NCAA, the world has just changed, and I think we're all adjusting. We're all going to settle in. I mean, it's been frantic the last 18 to 24 months. House case obviously coming up here is going to help dictate where we go. Mostly, I think the more knowns we get, the better we are, because the world's changing and we've got to adjust to make it work.
Yeah, it is a crazy world, no doubt about it, in college hockey, college sports in general. I mean, it just feels like every day is another something that another problem you got to solve, right?
There's a new headline every day. We're all waiting to see what it is.
Exactly right. Well, that's good stuff. Well, it's awesome to see you down here. We're going to see you down here March 21st to the 22nd. I know you're going to be around here. So I should ask you about the future then. So you go here, and it's going to be at XL Energy Center for one last time for the NCHC Frozen Faceoff. What happens in 2026 and beyond?
Starting next year, we go to on-campus sites for quarterfinals, semifinals, and a championship. So it'll turn into a 3-weekend event, best of 3 in the first weekend, a single game semifinal and a single game championship, all on the top seed, reseeded after each round and at the top seed. So giving a little bit of credit and trying to build some excitement on home campuses.
Outstanding. Well, Heather, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you down here in, what is it, today's the 11th, so we're talking, this is 10 days away?
Yes, we will.
Man, time does not stand still.
Thanks for having me, and go wild.
You bet. Thanks for stopping by. That's Heather Weems, Commissioner of the NCHC. Again, the information, if you want to get down here, the last time the NCHC Frozen Faceoff will be at XL Energy Center is March 21st. Friday, March 21st, 2 sessions, 4 o'clock and 7:30. You can also get Championship Saturday, March 22nd. They've got all session tickets starting at $65, single day tickets starting at $45. Good stuff going on at the NCHC Fan Fest as well. Get more information at nchhockey.com, or you can go to wild.com. They got more information there as well. After one period of play in St. Paul, the Wild and Avalanche, they're scoreless. Full recap is next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity. But at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
Drops it off. Hinostroza spun it blindly, and nobody there except for Jack Drury. The Avalanche leads the rush the other way. Drury to the left circle, a shot glove save. Gustafsson.
A turnover, but Philip Gustafsson makes the save. 1 of 5 that he's made in that first period. Mackenzie Blackwood, a perfect 6 of 6 for the Colorado Avalanche. It's 0-0 after 1 period of play in St. Paul. Tom Reed joins me from the Al Shaver press box. A brief Tom Reed's hotline, although it won't count towards the questions. Through 20 minutes, Tom, I thought both teams are definitely engaged. Felt like the Wild got better as the period went along.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. I thought they had a little bit of a slow start, and sometimes, when you play a good team like this and you look at the firepower on the other side, they go, I got to be very careful here. I got to make sure I don't overextend myself or do something out of the foolishness of trying to get a goal. Just sit back a little bit. But I think Minnesota came on much better, and I'd say the last 10 minutes of this hockey game, picking up the pace. In fact, they took the lead in the shooting department also by 1. No goals yet, but they kept the fire. A team that can fire a lot of goals off the scoreboard. That's a big plus for them.
Yeah, I remember vividly, and I didn't go back to research it or anything like that, but I remember the last time the Avalanche were here, the Wild were playing well through 1 period, and then the Avalanche, pun intended, came on in the second period and beyond. The Wild ended up losing that hockey game. How do they help themselves not to fall into that trap, especially against an Avalanche team that, by the way, played last night? So you have an opportunity to take it to them a little bit if you play your cards right.
Well, and that's what they have to do. They have to play their cards right. And, you listen to John Hines, and he's going to be positive about this team. He wants his team to score goals. He wants them to get chances, but you got to bear those chances when you get the opportunities. You look at the 3 games they played this year. Minnesota won the first. Colorado won the first game 6-1. At Minnesota. Minnesota came back in Colorado, won that second game by a score of 3-1, but then lost 5-2 in the last game they played back on February the 28th. But these two teams, Kevin, have met 128 times. This is number 129. That's a lot of games, I will tell you. But Minnesota's record in the 128 is 60, 55, and 13. So they've done well in that department. They'd like to add on the positive side with a win tonight.
All right, we'll see what happens. Enjoy the second period, and I look forward to Tom Reed's hotline after period number 2. That is Tom Reed up here in the Al Shaver press box. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Everything is better on ice.
Scoreless after 1. The second is next from St. Paul. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience. Can Wonderland is an epic indoor mini golf course with 18 holes built by teams of local artists, surrounded by a jaw-dropping retro arcade of over 125 rare, nostalgic pinball and video games, along with awesome one-of-a-kind specialty amusements. Can Wonderland is the place to go for fun for all ages, families, groups, team building, and celebrations of any kind. Set your tee time for mini golf and enjoy tasty food and drinks. There's something for everyone at Can Wonderland. That's cancanwonderland.com.
Listen to Wild Hockey every night. In the Twin Cities, tune in to the flagship, FM 100.3 KFAN.
If you're traveling across the state of hockey, find a station near you at wild.com/radio.
You can also use the official Minnesota Wild app.
And don't forget to bring your radio along and listen in arena without delay on 95.7.
From Warroad to Mankato and everywhere in between.
Listen to Wild Hockey exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Papa Roach.
This is my sweet song. That's what she said. I don't hate.
With Rise Against, celebrating 25 years. Rise of the Roach Tour. Rockin' XL Energy Center on April 13th. With special guest, Under Oath. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Papa Roach and Rise Against together on one epic night.
Back for the second period. The Wild and the Avalanche scoreless through 20 with Tom Reed. I am Joe O'Donnell. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial in period 2. The Avalanche skating from right to left. Tom, we talked about a couple of times, felt like the Wild sort of settled in as the period moved along. They're going to have to be good checking. They're going to have to be blocking shots, getting in lanes, try and keep this thing low scoring, you'd imagine.
Yeah, you're right. I thought talking to Kevin a few moments ago, talking about the fact that Minnesota got better in the second half of that first period, which I thought was good, but they've got to keep that up. They can't sit back.
Avalanche during their 6-game winning streak, scoring 31 goals, giving up 11, 3 goals or more in all 6 games. We have an early whistle here, 10 seconds into the period. The Avs have climbed to 6th in the league in goal scoring per game. The Wild just 2 goals over their last 2 games. And here an early whistle again right off the draws. Minnesota got in over the blue line a touch early. It's offside.
Well, the important thing for Minnesota is get the shots to the net. Get the shots or jam the net. Get people going to the net area, in that blue paint area. Get the bodies in there.
All right, well, the Avalanche scoring a lot. Michael Russo on The Athletic had a note since January the 9th. There's another offside on Minnesota. Foligno tried to uncork a long wrister. Since January the 9th, the Wild last in the league at 2.26 goals per game. That's almost a 2-month span.
Wow. You know, just looking, you look at players with shooting also. Avalanche have 7 players with 100 shots or more. Minnesota has 4 with 100 shots or more. McKinnon, of course, leading with 266 shots coming into this hockey game. Wow. The arms guys are getting tired.
How about those off-ice officials? Have to count all them up.
Oh, it'll change, though.
Taves to Natchez. Martin Natchez rumbles in, stops, hands it to the point. Taves a wrister, tipped by Boldy, and that'll leave the playing surface.
Yep, Boldy, that long stick and that long reach also got a piece of it. That put it in the netting above the glass behind the Minnesota net, and that'll get a stoppage of play. And Boldy going over to change his stick as a result of that may have splintered the blade on that one.
Couple games here where Boldy has finished off the job. If the stick's even slightly not to his liking, he just snaps it as he gets to the bench. Right in front of the equipment stand.
Amazing.
They got to be going, come on, man.
That's $300.
Put it on my tab. Boldy at the red line right side, hammers it in.
We usually could find $10 if you gave a stick away or broke it on purpose.
It's handed back out to center ice now by the Avs. Faber hacks the pass to Middleton. Up for Zuccarello. Backhands it in. Rossi pressures Devon Taves. Reverse to McCarr. Up to Natchez. And a tap back for the full head of steam carrying along Nathan McKinnon. Over the blue line. Found Natchez. Tried to center for McCarr. It was the late help cutting through the slot. Partially broken up. McCarr is back on this. Pass tips. Girard rescues it. Back to McCarr. A long wrister. And that's in the glove of Philip Gustafsson.
Boy, Makar moves so well out there in that blue line, so mobile, and sees the ice all the time. And said before, he's a guy that can certainly find openings. He won the harder shot contest at the All-Star game in 2024 and over 102 miles an hour. Not a big guy, but he plays big.
Who had the hardest shot when you played, Tom?
I would have to say Bobby Hull for accuracy. Dennis Hull was a little bit harder, but he didn't get the shot away near as quick as Bobby could. Bobby really fired that biscuit.
Johansson off a one draw. Knifes it along. Nyquist taps in. Girard goes D-to-D. Malinsky off the board. Nichushkin kicked it with his skate free for Nelson. He didn't do much from there. The Wild serve it back the other direction. Icing waved off. Nyquist stops outside the goal crease of Mackenzie Blackwood as Samuel Girard carries the Avalanche along. He'll feed Nelson over the blue line, trying to step away from the pressure of Bogosian. Nelson up to the point. Girard tried to hack it down low. Bogosian got a chunk of it. Nelson gave it away, got it back through the high slot. Now Nichushkin rims it down back of the cage. Merrill hog-tied for a moment, so he popped it along the boards. Nichushkin to the point. Girard. Now Drouin up top. Nichushkin a quick wrister. Blocked by Gaudreau. It leaks out the center.
And Joe, Minnesota really has to be careful when they have the puck behind their own blue line. They've given it away a couple of times in this second period. You've got to be careful of that, otherwise it's going to burn you.
Malinsky up ice. Drouin weaves it in, stealing Charlie Coyle off a failed clear by the Wild. Hartman able to close on him. They go to the corner. Merrill supports here in this scrum between Coyle and Hartman. The Avalanche dig it free. Colton sent it to the point. A shot by Manson. Glanced off a body in front. Foligno to handle it. He poked it straight up into the air. And it left the playing surface.
Yeah, this could be a delay, I believe. And he knows it.
Minnesota 17, minor penalties for puck on a play delay game.
Delay of game to Foligno, the assistant captain. And this will put the Avalanche on the power play. You look at their power play also at Colorado. They ranked 10th overall with 23.8%. 0 for 3 last night against Chicago, but the previous 5 they had 9 power play goals and just 15 chances, so that seems to be working for them. This penalty coming at 2 minutes and 41 seconds of the second period.
So the Avalanche man advantage, 10th in the league at 23.8%, goes to work. They were 0 for 3 last night at home against the Blackhawks. Wild win the draw and clear down off the boards to the right of Gustafsson. Minnesota's penalty kill, 1 for 2 Sunday, 69.9% on the year, 31st out of 32 teams. McKinnon gallops ahead. Force it to the right side. Natchez gave it back. McKinnon chunks it around the boards. Nelson keeps in left point. Sprayed it the way of Nichushkin. Back to Brock Nelson. Then McKinnon, a one-touch to the point. Makar. Watched by Nyquist. It's given back to McKinnon. Served back to Makar. Right circle. Angled it down to the goal line. Nelson feeds it back off the boards. Makar through the high slot. A wrister. Gustafsson the save. Rebound went straight up in the air. Faber tried to wave at it. Couldn't connect. But Nyquist is there. Settled it down. And Freddie Gaudreau takes his pass and plays it down the ice.
A couple of boys coming together on the ice. Nobody damage done.
So Boldy, Bogosian, Trenyon, and Spurgeon now on the PK. Of course, Foligno in the box for delay of game. Big part of the Wild penalty kill. McKinnon leads the charge. Spun away from Boldy. His pass, though, hit Trenyon and careens out the center. On a quick reset and re-attack, Natchez sent it to the right wing boards. McKinnon stabbed it past Bogosian, hurried to it, and left it up top. Natchez to the right circle shot. Well, his hands were in the air, but the puck off the crossbar, according to the official, it was Nelson who had his hands up. So it stays out, the one-timer by Nelson. McKinnon to the goal line. Natchez back to McKinnon. Now Makar fakes a shot, fakes a pass, and then dealt it to McKinnon. Try to center. Boldy bats it away and backhands it down.
And you saw his hands up. He thought it was a goal, but they also have the ability up here with Ron Foyt looking at the film and to see if it was in the net or not. And had it been a goal, he would have had the horn blow right away.
Drouin now through center ice. Pops it in. 7 seconds left on the minor to Foligno. Wild have had some trouble killing off the very tail end of power plays lately, but a misfired pass by Colorado means the end of the man advantage. Foligno steps out of the box. Girard for the Avs hits the red line, hammers it in. Middleton left wing corner below the goal line. Wrapped up by Drouin. Puck squeeze free. Colton a shot. That grazed the top of the crossbar. That's 2 off the iron here for the Avalanche in the second. They hit 1 in the first as well. Boy, if Marc-Andre Fleury's in net, he'd be talking to the post the rest of the game. Faber, headmans. Foligno wrapped up, bounced it off the boards, kicks loose. Gaudreau grabs it. Carries ahead for the Wild, Freddie Gaudreau. Has to skate all the way to the left wing boards and just flicked it down low, where Foligno able to pick it up. After the flyby, Marcus Johansson kind of created some space for Foligno to dig it loose. Now Johansson left wing corner, hog-tied by Devon Taves. Johansson's back on it with Devin Shore nearby for Minnesota. Foligno sticks his nose back into the scrum. Puck comes down near the goal line. Shore pinned up immediately by Jack Drury. Puck jostled through the Avalanche slot. It's grabbed by Lehkonen, who skates ahead and fired a pass that tips. Glove down by Merrill. Picks his head up and smacks it along to Bogosian. Bogosian uses some ice in front of him to hit the center line before hammering it in. 6 minutes played now on the second. No score in St. Paul. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Logan O'Connor to a loose puck for Colorado. Chucks it in. Parker Kelly hammers it around. His line mates were changing. His Coyle, fresh off the bench, picked it up. His shot was blocked by Shore. Centering pass by Kelly. Tipped away by Trenyon. The Wild give it away. Lindgren a shot. Blocker save Gustafson on that long-range chance. Trenyon deep in his own zone. Pried it along for Merrill. Spun away from some harassment. Angled it back, hoping for Bogosian. He'll just swat it out to the neutral zone. O'Connor churns it back. Lindgren D to D. Josh Manson, the longtime pro, hits the red line, lofts it in from there. O'Connor on the forecheck, the Denver University product from his collegiate days. He's able to come up with it and find McCarr, races in. McCarr deep into the Wild zone, stops back of the net. Gustafson looking over his left shoulders. McCarr stick handles in a phone booth and then turns it to the left point. Natchez. Natchez watched carefully by Brazo, able to spin off. Martin Natchez centered. Boldy swatted out of midair. Good stick there. And then rescuing it the rest of the way was Brazo. Avalanche keep the pressure on McCarr left side. Bunted it down low. Lehkonen hurries it around the boards. McKinnon fresh off the bench. Nathan McKinnon with some tired Wild players out. Back along to Lehkonen. 12:45 to go, second period, no score. Lehkonen up near the blue line. His feed blocked off Brazo. It kicks all the way down the ice. The Wild can change. Mackenzie Blackwood with his goal stick. Left it along. Eventually McCarr has to circle back left side in his own defensive end. And now he'll find Natchez, who rumbles along, navigating a puck to McKinnon, turned over. Boldy, middle of the ice pass. Zuccarello hits the red line and turns it in from there. Following this play up, Jared Spurgeon. His shot, though, blocked by McKinnon. Spurgeon turns to hustle back as McKinnon headmans. Drouin, though, gave it right back to Minnesota. And Spurgeon hit the center line left wing boards, and this time backhanded deep. Boldy chased to it for the Wild. Rossi won to follow it up. Breakout by the Avalanche. Went awry in front. Boldy ran out of real estate as he got the long feed from Chisholm. Boldy now centering. Zuccarello a shot. It kicked free. Spurgeon hacked it down low. Rossi centering for Spurgeon. He lost his footing and couldn't pull the trigger on a one-timer.
Boy, Minnesota against golden opportunities, but they can't bury it.
Icing coming on the Avalanche as they relieve some pressure, cranking it down left wing boards. And so after a penalty kill where they got out of it cleanly, the Wild took a shift or two to gather themselves and then some offensive zone time.
Yeah, frustrating for them also because they had opportunities here in the last 30 seconds of this hockey game. They've done a good job in the offensive zone, but just a little bit off the marker right now. And I like what I'm seeing right now, also the fact that they're on the ice and they're talking to each other, a little bit of a huddle there as to what they want to do when this draw takes place.
Gaudreau won the face-off back, Faber right point. Angled it to Johansson, back to Faber, a one-timer, blocker save Blackwood. Middleton turned it back in front off a body, and Blackwood found that, knuckled it away from trouble. Again, an icing call coming on Colorado, and then they wave it off.
Why?
That puck crossed the goal line. The last moment it was waved off.
Well, what the linesman is saying is that he could have got to the puck. That's why they waved it off.
Here's Nichushkin off the rush. A drop pass. Nelson bodied by Middleton, who took it away and finds Nyquist, and the Wild dart ahead now. Right wing side, Freddie Gaudreau hits the red line, shoots in from there. Nyquist pressures Girard, who just one-handed it away. And Drouin will feed Nichushkin. Now Nichushkin, slowed down by the Wild pressure, swarming nicely there. The hometown Wild. Spurgeon up ice, too far for Johansson. And this is icing, and that's going to upset the faithful.
I think you're right. I'm still questioning why they didn't bolt before, but that being said, the face-off is going to come back to the Minnesota zone because of the fact they had the icing call called against them. That means they can't change any of their players also, where Avalanche were able to change a few of the bodies out there. Face off to the right of Philip Gustafson. Right now, shots are 10-7 in favor of Colorado, but no goals as of yet. Minnesota's done a nice job almost halfway through this hockey game.
Avalanche and Blackhawks played a scoreless 40 minutes last night in Denver. Then the Avs got 3 in the third. From the neutral zone, O'Connor pounds it in. Back to pick it up for Minnesota's Declan Chisholm. A right-wing pass too hard to handle for Gaudreau. Kept in by Lindgren. He'll blister it around the boards. Manson run into by Chisholm. Puck deep in the Wild zone to the left of Gustafson. Chisholm picked it up from a pile, smoked it out to center ice. Hustling to it is Hartman just ahead of Lindgren. Vinny Hinostroza, the first man on the scene. His pass deflected along. Hartman picked it up, threw it in front, and Foligno's deflection knuckled just over the crossbar. Bogosian a long drive holding in right point. That deflects to the right of Blackwood, excuse me. They've got two goaltenders, Blackwood and Wedgwood, and now some rough stuff here as the puck went out of play, and now Drury and Hinostroza mixed up. Hartman and Foligno right into aid Vinny Hinostroza.
Let's go!
Bogosian's got Parker Kelly wrapped up. Bogosian trying to shake his right glove. Kelly saying he wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Kelly does not.
Bogosian is begging him, and then Bogosian with the left clipped the referee incidentally.
I'll talk to the linesman who's right there. He did not have penalty.
And the ice mic's in a perfect spot to hear some of this conversation.
It has to be really clear, Ryan. Okay. The angle I had, I think it's fine.
I love that stuff, and thankfully there were no F-bombs. 10:02 to go, second period action from St. Paul. We thank the men in stripes. No score, the Wild and the Avalanche. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The Players' Championship is on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92.
Scotty Scheffler becomes the first player ever to win back-to-back Players.
The best field in golf stands in the way of an unprecedented three-peat for Scotty Scheffler.
Very rare air where Scotty Scheffler is now, and he is making a historical type run.
Live coverage from the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass begins Thursday at noon Eastern. The Players' Championship is on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Possibly.
Well, 10:02 to go here in period number 2. Shots are 10-7 in favor of the visitors, the Avalanche. But no goals yet. Face-off deep into the Avalanche zone.
Draw coming up to the right of Mackenzie Blackwood, the former Devils draft pick. Foligno in to take it after Hartman was escorted out. Coyle on it for the Avalanche. Draw won by the Wild. A long shot handled by Blackwood. And the puck skittered out to center by the Avs. Chisholm goes rink wide. Here's Jared Spurgeon handing it back along to Chisholm. Gallops over the blue line. Shaded towards the left side. Fired a sharp angle try. Blackwood made the save. Manson outlets. Kiviranta, the former Dallas Star. Second year of the Avalanche, sweeps it in. Back for it, Hinostroza. Let it come free for a moment, and then kind of fanned on his pass. Kiviranta then had a stick lifted by Hinostroza, but Colorado keeps the line with Charlie Coyle. Into the corner. Colton threw one in front. Deflects free. Makara shot. And Gustafson the save. And a little rough stuff again after the whistle.
Foligno's right in the middle of it also. He's standing out there. And Hartman as well, which is not unusual, I don't think. No damage done. The faceoff is going to stay deep in the Minnesota zone, I believe, to the left of Philip Gustafson. We always talk about the draws, how important they are. Minnesota coming into this. At one point, I think they were like 40%. We grew up a little bit from that right now, hopefully.
Off the face-off, the Wild able to get it out the center. Rossi banking it along. Zuccarello reaching for it. Taves was there first. Colorado gives it away. Zuccarello plucks it in. Boldy charges to it. Leaned on by Taves. Left it along looking for Zuccarello. Now Natchez defensively for the Avs. Put it through his own slot. Nobody there. The Wild still. They got a 2-0. Rossi to Zuccarello. Shot. He scores! A breakdown by the Avalanche, and Zuccarello floats it top shelf. And the Wild have a 1-0 lead.
Well, one of those situations, you get a gift, and that was gift was right there. And Zuccarello, number 36 of Minnesota, makes it work, scoring the first goal of this hockey game. And it comes just at 8:59 to go here in period number 2. But just one of those things, Joe, that all of a sudden you're standing there, you're not expecting the puck to come to you, and all of a sudden it just bad positioning by the Avalanche in that one in their own defensive zone. And Zuccarello makes no mistake on that one. He gets it, and he goes in. You know when he's in that position, he's not very far in front of the goaltender, but he finds the opening, puts it away. Minnesota leads 1-0.
15th of the year for the native of Oslo, Norway. Here's the call from Adam Abrams.
15th goal of the season for number 36, Matt Zuccarello. Assisted by number 23, Marco Rossi. And number 12, Matt Boldy. Time of the goal, 11:01.
And if there was a third assist, it would go to Martin Natchez of the Avalanche. Here's Nyquist to a loose puck left circle, a shot. That's off the glove of Blackwood. Wild looking for more. Johansson tries to center it, ends up deflecting to Bogosian left point. Paddled it back of the net for Gaudreau. Malinsky hog ties him. Stepping to it though, Nyquist able to strip it free. Bogosian a long shot, whistled wide. Pinching in Merrill to keep the Wild in business. Sam Malinsky, the Lakeville, Minnesota native, overskated for a moment for the Avalanche defense, and now Girard frees it up, getting it to center, where Nelson taps along for Drouin. Drouin feathers one to Malinsky. He'll rip it around the Wild end wall. Bogosian stopped it. Backhand, forehand, angled it ahead then. Brazo leaves it off. Trenyon flips it in and tries to hustle to it. Manson and Trenyon come together. Puck knocked free. Shore bounces one to the left point. Merrill fakes a one-timer. Waited a moment. Played it back down low. It's loose behind the net. Trenyon tried to muscle it in front. Natchez able to intercept, and he'll use the right wing boards to clear out the center for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon at the red line. Plays it in. Gustafson comes out with his goal stick. Swooped it along. Bogosian hustled it ahead. Brazo. Justin Brazo able to gain the offensive blue line before feathering it deep. Manson cuts around his own net. Fed McKinnon on his backhand. Skied it ahead. It hit Faber. Look out. It kicks free for Lehkonen. Lehkonen coming in. A backdoor pass. Gustafson held it out. Maybe Middleton sticking there as well. That was a glorious chance for the Avs. They couldn't convert.
It certainly was. Good defensive play by both McKinnon and by Minnesota's netminder. And the thing is, when you have a guy like Gus who has that long leg, the long legs, and certainly moving it from one side to the other in a hurry to make the save.
Boldy shaking, stopping, starting, controlling the puck in the offensive zone for the Wild. Matt Boldy trying to tap free. McCarr picked his pocket. McCarr banks it ahead to Lehkonen. He's got McKinnon coming late. Lehkonen left wing boards. Pressured by Middleton. Middleton able to separate him from the puck. And it's gathered by Zuccarello. Zuccarello slows the pace down. Now jets through center. Hits the red line. Shoves it in. Under 6.5 minutes left in period 2. The Wild with a 1-0 lead. NHL leading 39th time they've scored first. Came in tied for the third most wins in the league when scoring first, with 26 of them. Cale Makar saunters along. Lifts it in from center. Gustafson did a good job to set it up. Spurgeon backhands along the dasher. It did not leave the defensive zone. Ross Colton now a side angle shot, hit the outside of the net. Spurgeon pokes at it. Foligno tries to tie it up. Spurgeon joins the scrum. It's sent down behind the Wild cage. Chisholm went hard into Ross Colton there as they crash along the end glass. And the Wild come up with this puck. Foligno surveying along and then try to connect with Hartman. Not much there. Foligno then crunched into Malinsky. In on the forecheck deep in the Avalanche zone. Poyle flips one out to center. Batted away first by Bogosian, and then Merrill to keep Logan O'Connor from a possible break. And the Wild now control things deep in their own zone with Merrill, slamming a pass to Tip. O'Connor's got it. O'Connor speeding with it, and then turned it over, just kind of freeing it up. But Merrill couldn't do much there. Drury's centering pass, thankfully taken away by the Wild's Marcus Johansson, who charges ahead and risks a shot. Blocker saved by Blackwood. Good pace to Johansson's game lately, Tom.
Yeah, there certainly has been, and he's a skater, no question about it. He's got to get some results, though. He's got to get some goals.
Drury to Lindgren, try to sneak it short side, and Gustafsson has that with his right arm to his body off the rush. Ryan Lindgren stopped, and we've got a timeout on the ice. The pace heightening, the Wild with the game's only goal. 4:57 to go in the second period. Zuccarello's put the Wild on the board. It's 1-0 Minnesota. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? This week only, all Pro Elite wash items and accessories are buy one, get one half off. That's car wash, tire cleaner, leather cleaner. All buy one, get one half off. Sponges and towels, we've got dual weave, waffle weave, whatever weave you want. Accessories too. Pro Elite floor mats, car covers, and more. Any Pro Elite item, buy one, get one half off. This week only at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restricted.
Scoreboard update. In Boston, the Panthers lead the Bruins 2-1. They've got 6:32 left to go in regulation. Devils have opened up a 5-3 lead over the Blue Jackets. That's almost at the end as well. 29 seconds left to go in that hockey game. Senators lead the Flyers 4-2. 3:51 left to go in the third. Dylan Cousins with his 13th of the season, but first as a member of the Ottawa Senators. Penn still holding on to a 2-1 lead over the Golden Knights. Hurricanes in front of the Lightning 3-0 in Raleigh. And the Jets lead the Rangers 2-1 midway through period number 2 in Winnipeg. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
And back here, we have 4:57 to go in period number 2. Minnesota, the 1-0 lead. The only goal by Zuccarello, his 15th of the season. Rossi picks up his 32nd of the season in the assist department, and Boldy gets number 34. I tell you, Marco Rossi's dad's in town. He stopped in the pub the other day. Brought a couple buddies from Austria, came over. Kind of enjoy a few days here, which is wonderful. Always nice for the guys, especially when you come from outside the U.S. or Canada, for the parents come to be a part of the action here in St. Paul.
Tom, do you have Austrian memorabilia in the pub?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a picture of Rossi.
Perfect.
Yeah, works.
You put it in there just for their arrival?
Yeah, take it down.
4:40 left in the second, icing on the Avalanche.
Well, before the Wild hit the ice against the Kings on Monday night, bring a non-perishable food item on the food drive, sponsored by Toyota. All donations support the food group's fight against hunger. Get your game ticket today at wild.com/hockey tickets.
Goudreau and Nelson on the draw. To the left of Blackwood. Nelson shifted it back. Manson cuts around his own net. Fires a pass ahead. Drouin taps in. Chisholm scurries back for Minnesota. Banked it off his end wall to the left wing corner where his defense partner Spurgeon was waiting. He tried to clear it out. Taken away by the Avalanche. Nelson through the slot. Tried to dangle past Chisholm. Nothing there. Manson now swings it around the Wild end wall. Spurgeon batted it on that bouncing puck. Tried to clear it out. Colorado stays in business. Drouin spins with it. The Wild begging for a high stick call. None coming. Right side, Drouin fires one in front. Ricocheted around. And now Gustafsson pulls it underneath them. Boy, the Wild, they would have been awfully salty had that puck found the back of the net, because several players were begging for a high stick infraction on the Avalanche.
And the problem with that, when you're begging for something, you forget what's happening on the ice. So you got to be careful when you're going to start begging. Wait till after the whistle goes, then you can beg.
Now, of course, they could have challenged had they needed to.
Yeah.
By the way, just looking back at that replay, said Gustafsson covered it up. It's a nice play by Freddie Goudreau to realize his stick was tied up. The puck was near him. He just kind of nudged it with his skate blade in the vicinity of Gustafsson. His Wild needed a whistle. And they win this defensive zone draw. Boldy, though, couldn't get the puck out. Avalanche make the Wild turn and chase. Middleton around his own net. Smacked it along. Zuccarello carved it rink wide. Faber hurries it ahead. It's Boldy over the blue line, trying to find Middleton driving through the slot. It was a touch too far. Zuccarello knocks it down. Rossi filtered it along. The Avalanche carved it back the other way. Faber smacks it to Middleton. Swatted along for Boldy. Swerves past some pressure and bolts in. Boldy trying to split the defense. Got a shot off. Blackwood made the save. Rossi reaching for it, trying to help it loose. Now he steals and finds Boldy right side. Boldy looking to return the favor to Rossi. That pass a little out of stride. McCarr dances ahead and then got hauled down. And a penalty call.
Yep, it's going to be a tripping call going against Minnesota. Unfortunately, here in the waning moments of the second period.
Minnesota 12, minor penalty for tripping.
So Boldy is the guilty party. He goes to the box, and Minnesota will be shorthanded.
Our final stoppage of the second period. The Wild to the PK. Up 1-0 late in period 2. When we come back to St. Paul, you're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He scored!
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
Penalty called against Bowling, the tripping call at 16:46. Second opportunity for the Avs on the power play. They had no shots in their previous opportunity.
They're 1 for 10 in the season here at the man advantage against the Wild. The one goal came the last meeting between these sides as McKinnon feeds it up top. McCarr a shot, whistled it wide. Natchez to the carom. Springs it along McKinnon. Powers it to the point. McCarr, right side Nelson. Wheels it rink wide. McKinnon flanked down to the left wing boards. Back to center point. McCarr, shot deflected wide. Reaching for it, Nelson. Faber closes on him, pins him to the glass. Goudreau stepped to it, bouncing puck, chopping at it both sides. It's knocked along for McKinnon. Pressured by Foligno, so he swept it down for Nichushkin to turn around to the right wing side where Nelson has it. Goudreau checked him to the ice, but McCarr holds in. Cale McCarr skates across the blue line. Got it to McKinnon. Goal line pass Natchez up top. McCarr shooting one. Glove save. Gustafsson.
Yeah, good move by Gus going from his right to his left. Had to get that left glove out in time to catch that onto that puck and put the face off to his left with 2:27 to go here in period number 2. And still 1 minute and 13 seconds shorthanded for Minnesota.
Penalty killers are now Trenyon with... Wild need another player on the ice.
Might help, yes.
Rossi's going to come out. So a chance for Marco Rossi on the PK with Trenyon, Bogosian, and Spurgeon. Again, the Wild have been trying some different forwards, expanding their personnel on the penalty kill late. McCarr holds in right point off the draw. Nearly lost it to Rossi. Then flexed it along Nelson. Up top, McCarr. Filtered to McKinnon. A hurried one-touch pass. Nelson had to wait for it as it got chunked on the way by. Now McKinnon. At the right circle, dancing with the puck. Nathan McKinnon up near the blue line. Then fired one. Blocker saved Gustafsson with a lot of traffic in front. Necas took a pass off the rebound. Got it to center point. McCarr. Handed back to Martin Necas. Necas to McKinnon outside the left circle. Pivots. Rolled it up top. McCarr. Right side for Nelson. His pass to McCarr. Partially tipped by Rossi. It comes back to Nelson. Goal line feed for Big Val Nichushkin. Center point McCarr. All this on the perimeter. Now Necas left wing boards. Charges in. Stops. Surveys. Down low McKinnon. A backhanded shot. Gustafsson the save. Rebound hit Bogosian. Gustafsson had to fight that off. And the Wild find the rebound. Trenyon fires it down.
Yeah, good shot by Trenton. Just get out of the zone. That allows Minnesota to get 4 fresh players on the ice.
Charging back in the Avalanche. McCarr tosses it in. Faber absorbed the hit. Spun off that check and knifes it down right wing side.
Yeah, good play by Faber. Also reading the play. He knew he was going to get hit, but he maintained possession. The puck and gets it all the way down.
Boldy out of the sin bin. 2 for 2 on the PK. Or the Minnesota Wild leading late in the second 1-0. Drouin dances along. Swats it in. Middleton back. Settled it down. Nearly lost it. Now reaches up with his glove to poke it along to Gaudreau. Illegal play in his defensive zone. Freddie Gaudreau finds the weak side D. Brock Faber. Faber crosses the blue line. Knifed one in front. It went just wide. Lehkonen to gather. Up ice for Colton. Stared down by Middleton. The backside pressure of Nyquist picked his pocket. Faber, though, gave it away. Had some time and space. Didn't realize it. Gerard threw one to the slot. What a save, Gustafsson. Got his right pad out on that redirect from the low hash marks, middle of the ice. Puck kept in by the Avs. Gerard to Drouin. Can the Wild get out of this period here? As a shot blocked by Faber. Means if Freddie Gaudreau can skate a puck through center, and he's able to muscle it in. 20 seconds left, second period. 1-0 the Wild leading. Gerard picks his head up, weaves along, feeds one that tips in. Gustafsson out to stop it, and then flip it to his left, where Merrill's wrapped up by Kiviranta, 10 to go in the frame. A shot by Manson's block. Merrill chops it out to center. Grabbing it, Lindgren. He'll wait for his line mates to clear, steers it back in, and through 40 minutes, the Minnesota Wild have a 1-0 lead at home over the Colorado Avalanche, winners of 6 straight coming in.
Yeah, 2 good periods by Minnesota also, Joe, and that's what they're looking for. And that's the one thing John Hines talks about, getting those shots to the front of that, playing good, solid defense behind your own blue line, and Minnesota's done that so far.
Through the first 3 meetings, the Avalanche have outshot the Wild in all 3. They have a 19-14 shot lead over the Wild in this one, but after 2 periods of play, it's Minnesota 1 and Colorado nothing. Tom Reed's Hotline, recap of all the action. That's in store for you after this. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
It comes around every year. People begin to scramble for information. It's a beast like no other. And VSiN is here to help you navigate the waters of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Sharp Week begins on Sunday, and our team of college hoops experts will guide you through your brackets. Want to know who the wagering sharps are picking? Tune into Sharp Week on VSiN, Sirius XM 158. Sharps! You're gonna need a bigger bet.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
We welcome Utah's Barrett Hayton. Does the P word come up? Do you look at the standings on a daily basis?
You look at the standings, you obviously know what other teams are doing, but at the same time, we know what we have to do. And we talked about it kind of before the break and using the break to kind of have a springboard to this last stretch, kind of be dialed in and feeling good right from the start and trying to build that momentum.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
Pittsburgh is the weirdest situation. It's like the start of the year and you tried to pretend that, we're going to do a retool on the fly. No, you're not. They're terrible, but the attitude, nothing to look here. Keep moving. Nope, Sid wants to play. They're terrible. Like Sidney Crosby's next game that matters is the Olympics. That could be the only time he plays again in a game that matters.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Team Canada's John Cooper. Was the moment the red light went on better than you ever could have imagined?
I don't even think I could have dreamt that one up. From Mario Lemieux all the way to the Jordan Binnington moment to the Connor McDavid moment, all these little moments have built up that all the team gave us special moments you'll never forget. I think our game of hockey is in a much better place because of that event.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You could win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
Mats Zuccarello is 15th of the year. That's the difference of this hockey game. Comes midway through the second. Wild holding on to a 1-0 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Get those questions and text us 64686. Someone's going to get a pair of tickets to see the Wild and the Broadway Blue Shirts Thursday in St. Paul. Pregame at 6:45. Puck drops after 7 o'clock. Get your own tickets at wild.com/hockey tickets. Impressive time what the Wild are doing to the Avalanche. I know the Avalanche played just last night, but they are firepower top to bottom, and yet the Wild are eliminating them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kevin. You look at Colorado last night winning against Chicago 3-0. They've won 6 consecutive wins in a row here, where they have scored 31 goals and gave up just 11. But in this game, Minnesota has the only goal of this hockey game, and give Minnesota a lot of credit. They're playing against a high-powered offense. We know that, but Minnesota really has battled them very hard, and that's the one thing that John Hines talks about. You know, you got to battle. You got to win some of these battles on the boards, whatever it may be, and Minnesota's done a good job with that.
I think you're going to like this stat. Not only does Zuccarello get the goal, one of the assists goes to Marco Rossi. On the dot thus far, Tom, Marco Rossi through 40 minutes, 7 of 9 for 78%. How about that?
That's very good. I mean,
pretty impressive.
And he's got that quickness also. I know his dad's in attendance here tonight with his buddies from back home, so I'm sure that he has to be pretty happy with what's happening right now. But there's still 20 minutes to go, and this is a huge 20 minutes for Minnesota.
No question. All right, let's get into everything you're sending in via the text machine, 64686. I've seen a couple of good ones, including this one from Mitch in Anoka. Saw the errant swing by Zach Bogosian, clipped one of the linesmen. Tom, you ever hit a linesman in a fight by accident back in your time?
No, it was always on purpose, Kevin. Just never got caught.
That's right. No. You said, "Whoops, sorry about that."
No, I don't think that ever happened. But some of the officials have really been hurt because they dive into it, and these guys are big bodies and they're strong, and they get those haymakers coming, and you get hit with one of those, you're going to know it.
No doubt. Tom from Topher says, Tom, there's rumors about Brock Nelson wanting to play with the Minnesota Wild next year. Once this season concludes, becomes an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. Do you think he has interest in being here? And do you think the Wild would be interested in having him?
Well, I think the interest is there, but you have to remember the people who manage these players, also their agents, they go where the money is going to go. So follow the money. That's usually the trick of the trade. But there are some players, if you have enough money to take care of the rest of your life and your family, your friends, and everybody else, then all of a sudden you might think, I'd like to maybe be in Minnesota and be a part of the building stage of this hockey game. Minnesota's going to have a lot of money next year to work. How they spend it is going to be the important part of it.
It'll be interesting. Here's a good one from Ben and Leo in the 218 area code. Tom, how would you assess Brock Faber's sophomore season, and what's it going to take for Faber to get to Makar status in future years? Boy, talk about setting the bar high. Faber's pretty good, but Makar's elite.
Yes, he certainly is. And Faber, he's trying to get to that point. There's no question about it. He had a terrific rookie year. It should have been the rookie of the year in the NHL, but that's how the NHL works. Build somebody else up on another team that might need some help. But that being said, Faber's slipped a little bit, but it isn't so much he slipped as they understand what he's like now. They know what type of player he is and maybe what the hot buttons are to be able to take him out of the play. But Faber is one of those guys. He's going to be an all-star player. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, he is so much fun to watch. You talk about hockey royalty in here when you talk about defensemen. Gregan Fridley brings up a good point. Says he knows the comparisons with Tom Reed and Brock Faber, very similar. But the real question he wants is compare Brock Faber to Craig Hartsburg for the old North Star fans. Do you see comparisons between the two?
Well, both good offensive defensemen. I mean, that's the biggest part of it. And I think that the game has changed so much since Hartsey played that the speed of the game is so much different today. But Hartsey was really a very strong defensive player from Minnesota. With the North Stars, but also could play the offensive part of the game. And that's what I see with Faber also. So there are some similarities there.
From the 763 area code, Charlie Coyle goes from Minnesota, ends up in Boston, and it looked like a match made in heaven. That's where he wants to be. He's a Boston kid and all that good stuff. Now at the trade deadline, he ends up in Colorado. Do you think he's disappointed, or what do you think he thinks about an opportunity to go for a cup here with a very good Colorado Avalanche
Well, that's
team?
exactly right. He wants his name on the cup. I mean, that's the important part. That's why you play this game. You want to win. You want to have your name engraved and be able to put it hoisted above your shoulders come the end of the playoffs. And I think he's very happy because Boston really has struggled this year, and they've gotten rid of a lot of good players on their team right now at their trade deadline. But as a result of that, Charlie gets a chance to go on a team that certainly is going to be a contender.
Let's go to this one, 763 area code. Philip Gustafson playing very well again. Tom, what have you thought about his season as a whole, and especially coming out of the Four Nations tournament?
I think coming out of the tournament, I think the rest, most of the people who got the rest, it was great for them. But some of the guys who had to play, it's very demanding. I think that Four Nations is face-off, but as good as it was, it took a toll on a lot of the players in the National Hockey League who had to play for those 4 different countries. But I think when you look at a guy like Gus, I think maybe learned a little bit. He was sick, if you remember, got pulled out of one of the games because he was ill. But I think for the most part, for me, it's an opportunity to really build your resume about playing in the National Hockey League and what you are, and also a confidence builder to be able to play at that level.
One here from the 320 area code. Tom, what are the Wild doing to stifle the speed of McKinnon and Makar? What are they doing to limit their opportunities thus far?
You know what? I think Minnesota's being very aggressive. I don't think they're just sitting back waiting for them to come to them. They're forcing the issue. They're trying to get to the player before those players who are elite status are able to get the puck in the offensive zone and make something happen.
It's nice to see the physicality, too. I know Colorado was bringing it on early on, but the Wild have responded very nicely.
Yeah, they really have, and that's what I talk about, taking away the time and the space from those players as much as they can. I think it's working for Minnesota right now.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is Tom Reed, assisted by Dylan Daniel. Thank you again for chipping in. We call it Tom Reed's Hotline. We do it after the second period most nights, and you can always get involved by texting us at 64686. Did you get one in tonight? You might have a pair of tickets to see the Wild and Rangers come Thursday in St. Paul. That'll be game number 3 of this 7-game homestand. That one starts at 7 o'clock, and if you don't get that text, you can still get tickets by going to wild.com/hockey tickets. Wild lead 1-0 after 2 periods of play. We'll give you a full recap after this break. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hi, this is Will Arnett from Smartless, a podcast I do with my pals Sean Hayes and Jason Bateman, with special guests from Howard Stern, Trevor Noah, David Beckham, Kelly Clarkson, to a few presidents. It's an unscripted, unrehearsed, but hopefully not unprepared podcast. We'll cover topics like doing limbo for self-esteem, skydiving hungover to world affairs. And now, you can hear every new episode a full week early on the SiriusXM app. Just search Smartless to join the fun.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on SiriusXM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Two periods in the books, and look at this. Your Wild lead the Avalanche 1-0 in St. Paul. No goals in the first period. The only one thus far came in period number 2, and it went to the Norwegian.
Nobody there's a Wild steal. They've got a 2-0. Rossi to Zuccarello shot. He scores! A break now by the Avalanche, and Zuccarello floats it top shelf, and the Wild have a 1-0 lead.
You heard the one about the Norwegian, the Austrian, and the American? Well, I don't have a joke, but Zuccarello from Rossi and Boldy. Zuccarello with his 15th of the year, midway through the second. That's the difference in this hockey game. Wild lead the Avalanche 1-0. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The fastest game on ice. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Wild are outshot 14-8 in the second. Two-period total of 19-14. Philip Gustafson perfect through 2 periods of play with 19 saves. 13 saves thus far for Mackenzie Blackwood. Wild are 0 for 1 on the power play. The Avalanche are 0 for 2. You are completely and totally up to date through 2 periods here in St. Paul. The Wild holding on to a 1-0 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. How will this end? Nobody's sure, but you'll have to listen to the third period to find out, and you can do that after this quick break. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com to make an appointment.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Wild lead the Avalanche 1-0. We are set for the third period. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. The only goal, Zuccarello, 11:01 into period 2 off a giveaway. Set up nicely by both of his line mates. Boldy the steal and tap. Rossi just said, hey, you take it. It was a 2-on-0 from basically the top of the circle in, and Zuccarello made no mistake. And Tom Reed, this is a huge period for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, it really is. They really have to come up big on this, no question. It starts with the dropping of the puck also in that first shift. I always talk about it, Joe, because the fact is this kind of sets the stage as to what's coming next.
The Wild with a 1-0 lead. They're at home, playing a red-hot team, looking to get out of their two-game funk are the Wild. And knowing that the playoff spot that once seemed almost cemented, gotten a little bit too close for comfort the last couple of weeks. Underway in the third, O'Connor for the Avalanche to the point. Lindgren shot blocked in front. Grabbing it, Foligno able to clear safely ahead. The Wild from right to left on your radio dial. In the third, the Avalanche from left to right. Jack Drury bounces it in. Back to grab it, Hartman. Hustled it along right side. Foligno's got some time right by the Wild bench. I'm sure they gave him some instructions there. As they'll filter it along through center, it's swiped away by McCarr.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And sometimes just far side, that's all I have to say.
McCarr curls up as he attacked, and now Nature's right circle, down low. Taves couldn't handle the feed, grabs it off the Wild end wall. Taves around the net to McCarr. Now Natchez has a lane, carries in, took a shot. Gustafsson the save, rebound, jabbed away from trouble, and spiked ahead by Middleton. It's going to be an icing call, though, on Minnesota.
Well, we invite you to celebrate your St. Patrick's Day with the thrill of Wild hockey. This special package includes your game ticket to watch the Wild take on the Kings and an exclusive Wild St. Patrick's Day jersey at wild.com/pack.
Through 2 periods of play, Tom, the Wild have been credited with 17 block shots, meaning they blocked 17 Avalanche chances. That's just about their season average, and we still have a period to go. So, again, that sacrifice is going to be crucial down the stretch.
Yep, and you have to sacrifice, especially if you're not winning hockey games. You've got to do something to change it a little bit. And Minnesota's done a nice job in this game, not only about blocking shots, but also the physicality that they've shown in this game.
Natchez rumbles along, stripped at center. Boldy took it away. Now Zuccarello in a 2-on-2 with Boldy. Zuccarello crosses the blue line, muscled at the Boldy, waited, tried to fire it in front for Rossi coming late to the back post. The Avalanche break that up, and Lehkonen on a second effort will swing it to the left wing boards for Taves. Devon Taves leads the NHL in time on ice leads the NHL in plus-minus since joining the Avalanche a couple of years back from the Islanders. His pass was a little behind Drouin. Drouin rescued it, then lost it to Marcus Johansson. Colorado gets it back. Brock Nelson navigates along and found Nichushkin. It was poke-checked by Goudreau. It ends up behind the Wild net. Merrill picked it up, cut through his own slot. Able to weave it to the right side, Johansson. Marcus Johansson trying to fight his way over the blue line. Kind of ran into his teammate and line mate there, Gustav Nyquist. And now the Avalanche cough it up near their player bench. The Wild couldn't come up with it cleanly. So Girard muscles it along. Malinsky right side with a wrist shot from along the dasher, and Gustafsson has it for a whistle.
Yeah, Malinsky, a nice shot coming down on that right side also. A right-handed shot, gets a shot right on the goaltender, and there's Gus once again to make the save. Easy save for him. That'll bring the face-off to his left.
Avalanche have won 8 of the last 10 in the all-time season series. 2 out of 3 this year so far. Talked about it last year. The Wild 0-10-1 against the Stars, the Avalanche, and the Jets, the top 3 teams in the Central. They knew that would be a focal point this year. Didn't beat Winnipeg in the season series, but have already beaten the Avs once, beaten the Stars once as well. And they'll play Dallas again later on this month. Chisholm rolls a D-to-D pass off his end wall. That came from a defensive zone draw. Spurgeon got it out the center. And now Ross Colton has it for the visitors. Colton, a career-high 40 points last season. Of course, spent some time with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Taves, headman, stepping over the blue line, Charlie Coyle. Leaned on by Devin Shore. Coyle got it to the point. Taves to McCarr. Speeds across the blue line. Tried a return pass for Taves, who was tipped by Trenyon. He got it back to McCarr. Tried to get away from Brazo. Couldn't. Brazo just knuckled it out to center. Good hand-eye coordination there by McCarr. Batted out of midair and at least got the Avalanche puck possession once more as both teams change.
Yeah, nice play by Brazo. Also, just get it out of the zone.
Natchez on a reset. Attacks with speed through center. His pass slowed down, and Foligno gets it back out to neutral ice.
Well, Minnesota's done a nice job of just going after the puck handler, taking time and space away.
And good active sticks as well, as the coaches always talk about. Colorado sends it in. Here's McKinnon to the point. Girard to Malinsky, a right point shot. Batted down in front, ends up behind the net. McKinnon swoops to it, carves along right circle, pivots to his forehand, and a shot blocked out of play by Faber.
And you know McKinnon, mostly, when he's on the backhand like that, you'll watch him make that little spin and get that forehand shot away. That's what he's very good at. He's got the quick hands, the quick feet, and the sense of where that puck has to go. And he's done a terrific job for this hockey club over the years. Kind of a guy kind of following in, the footsteps of different players around the league. The way he has played, coming up through the junior ranks and the high school ranks and such, just making sure. And of course, I think of Sidney Crosby being for them same area, kind of follows Sid a little bit.
Mentioned that last night, McKinnon hit the 1,000-point plateau in his career. His puck ends up in the Avalanche bench for a whistle. The 17th number 1 overall pick to reach 1,000 points.
Well, McKinnon last year was unbelievable. The last 2 years, he played 153 games. He's got 93 goals, 251 points, and that's it. So he's just, he wrote my numbers by a few.
That's all right. There's time for you, Tom Reed.
No, there's not.
Okay. That ship has sailed. Middleton off the one face-off. Shot one wide. Faber pinches in right side. Lehkonen hounds him. It's sent back in the net for Rossi. Rossi, a little stop-and-go move, trying to get away from Taves. Comes to the right point. Faber, a shot knocked down in front off the blocker of Blackwood. Middleton broke up a long pass at center, charges ahead and chops it in. Got to it himself and found Boldy. Boldy right wing corner, back behind the net for Middleton. It just bounced away. He'll peel back now to his defensive position as the Avalanche try to clear out. More pressure by the Wild. Boldy nearly step 3. And the puck comes in where Blackwood salts it away.
Yeah, Blackwood that's a wise decision on his part. Also, the goaltender for the Avalanche just grab onto it. A little bit of a, not quite sure exactly what they're doing in their own zone at that point. So let's get a fresh start for them. Minnesota also gets a chance to get fresh players on the ice. Shots right now 20-50 in favor of the Avalanche, but Minnesota has a 1-0 lead. The only goal of this hockey game, a huge goal by Zuccarello, with Rossi and Boldy picking up the assist.
Hartman on the draw against Nelson. Hartman guides it to himself off the left wing boards and then took a shot that was blocked by Lindgren. Avalanche spring it down. Icing here coming with 15:38 to go in regulation.
Surprised he didn't wave it off.
Just to see if the crowd was paying attention?
See, we are, I guess. And that'll bring the face-off deep in the Avalanche zone.
Hartman and Nelson on the face-off again. Hartman this time on his backhand, won it to Foligno. Tapped to the left point, Chisholm a shot. Hit a body, skips wide. Hinostroza hustles to it. Try to cycle it along. Lindgren came up with it. He lost it to Foligno. Now Hartman ripping one in front. Kareem's free left point. Chisholm to Hinostroza. Back to Chisholm. A one-timer block. It clanged right to Spurgeon at the right point. He was able to get to that favorable bounce and hold in. Foligno now high slot. Hartman down low for a tip by Hinostroza. And Blackwood read it, fought it off.
A nice play by Hinostroza. Also just getting right to the side of the net to have that tip in.
Avalanche get it out the center. Chisholm rumbles it right back in. Hartman keeps the line right side. Flicks it into the corner, but it left the playing surface. And a whistle here with 5:03 expired time in the third.
Watching Foligno out there, always looking for someone to hit, even after the whistle sometimes. Well, the new season of Wild Hockey will be here before you know it, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. Place your deposit for priority playoff access, exclusive pricing, and more when you join the Forever Wild family. You can learn more at wild.com/season.
The 33-year-old Foligno, 11th in the league in hits, leads the Wild in that department coming in. As the Avalanche win this draw, they can't get it out. A couple of tries, Bogosian kept the blue line, and then finally they say it did leave the zone just by a hair, so Minnesota is offside.
Yeah, we'll see if Minnesota can win the draw once again. Right now they're very close also. They're 49%. They have their peaks and valleys when it comes to face-offs. Minnesota has. It's not been their banner year for winning them, but right now they're just one tick below 50.
Penguins outdueled the Wild in the Circle Sunday, 52% to 48%. As to a loose puck, here's Parker Kelly cut out in front. The rebound sitting there. Gustafsson flexed out his right leg. Merrill in desperation style somehow defending as well. And the Wild come out unscathed.
Yeah, Merrill broke his stick also halfway down the shaft.
Cleared out by Minnesota. Rifled along by Girard. Charging back in Parker Kelly. Trying to slow him down Faber. It comes to the point for Girard in front for a tip that went well wide to the corner. Off the tape of Drury, Trenyon sent it around his end wall. Faber crunched there by the Avalanche leader and hits Parker Kelly. Gaudreau trying to get it out, couldn't. Avalanche hold in, Malinsky right circle, centered. It came free for a shot by Drury, blocked by Gaudreau, and it goes out of play.
Good play by Fred. He's in the right place, held his goal there and got a piece of that, and he just goes over and gives a little fist bump to Gus, and as a result of that, that'll keep the face-off deep in the Minnesota zone. It's interesting also, Joe, because you look at the play, you think it's going to be innocent, and all of a sudden breaks into something that is a close opportunity for a team to score a goal. So you have to be ready all the time. You can't just sit back, especially in your own defensive zone.
And the TV monitors show that power move by Parker Kelly cutting through the blue paint. It kind of rattled around, maybe off Devon Shore, went down to the right of Gustafsson, and John Merrill diving there. You're right, Tom, his stick was snapped in two, but he did enough to keep a potential tying goal away from, I believe, Ross Colton in front. The Wild come ahead and work it deep. Left wing side, offensive zone. It's moved to the point. Middleton a shot, big rebound. Wild can't come up with it cleanly. Middleton try to swat it deeper, and the Avalanche have it. Taves, outlets. Lehkonen hands it off. Natchez charges in. Cross-ice pass tipped. It rattles free. McCarr fakes a shot. Works his way deep into the Wild zone. Cale McCarr behind the net of Gustafsson. Filtered to free. McKinnon, a backdoor pass hit the skates of Zuccarello. It's picked up by Natchez. Stuffs it to the point. Taves a shot. Tipped wide by Lehkonen. McCarr holds in. Cycled it down low. Faber pins up McKinnon. Middleton snuck it free away from some trouble, but the Avalanche keep the line again. They float one to the slot, partially tipped by Zuccarello, but grabbed by Natchez. Natchez worked over by Boldy, and Boldy sent him down to the ice. That allows the Wild to take over Rossi. Flipped it off the boards, not out. And then McCarr trying to wind it deeper. It hit Rossi, and a much-needed whistle for the Wild. It ends up in the netting, and a TV timeout here in the third period, with the Wild leading 1-0, 13:01 to go. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
A place in the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals is on the line, and you can hear the drama on Sirius XM FC. Defending champion Real Madrid.
It is the hat-trick goal from Kylian Mbappe.
Crosstown rival Atletico Madrid.
Brilliant from Griezmann. Sensational from Griezmann.
A Madrid derby with continental implications.
This is the do-or-die leg.
Coverage begins tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 157 in the car and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Puck laying on the ice right now. It's the dot. On the dot to keep it nice and cold to the right of Philip Gustafsson. Right now, 13:01 to go here in period number 3. Minnesota still at 1-0 lead. Shots are 21-17 in favor of the visitors, who have won 6 games in a row. Minnesota's done a very, very good job in this hockey game.
Homestand for the Wild continues Thursday with the Rangers in town, and the Blues come here Saturday. That is a huge game as well. Off the rush, here's Nyquist left side, charging in with a shot, and was shouldered away by Blackwood. Boy, that was sort of a 2-on-1 that developed almost out of nowhere.
Yeah, Nyquist, I like him too. Also, Joe, he's got great experience, but also good offensive mind.
Chisholm keeps the blue line, dealing with Kiviranta. Puck jostled free. It's Nyquist. Skate all the way to the right wing boards along the blue line, then send it down low. Malinsky was there for Colorado. It is Johansson and Nyquist trying to dig it free for Minnesota. They do. It's smacked along the left point. Chisholm on the pop-out play. Gaudreau just offers it down low. Skipped away from Johansson. Coyle rescues it. Nyquist hounding him. Nyquist legally able to swipe it away for a moment. Chisholm the pinch in left wing side to keep the Wild in business here. Almost 8 minutes gone by in the third. The Wild in front 1-0. Girard twisted it along. Coyle helped it ahead. Ross Colton in a one-on-one with the Wild captain Spurgeon, and Spurgeon able to strip it free. Beautifully played there by Jared Spurgeon.
Yeah, he's got that long stick also. Not very tall. Until he's 5'9", they have him listed at, but he has a long stick. He can get that puck.
Boldy right wing boards off a forecheck turnover. Got it to Zuccarello. Deep in the offensive zone. Up top Faber. Skates across the blue line. Fake the shot. Outlets right wing hash mark Zuccarello. Flicked it along to center point. Middleton just hurries it down low. Rossi and Lindgren come together. Rossi batted it around the Avalanche net. Chasing to this, though, is Manson. His first pass blocked. His second one angles through center. Bounces off the boards. Pinballs all the way in. Wide past Gustafson's cage by just a few inches, and icing here on Colorado.
Yep, the icing call goes against the Avalanche. Minnesota can change if they want to. Avalanche cannot. 11:26 to go. Period number 3. Minnesota still in that 1-0 lead.
Rossi on the draw for the Wild against Brock Nelson. Nelson, 900-plus games with the Islanders, just shy of 300 goals in his career. As the Avs emerge off the face-off, turning one over at center for a moment was Manson. Then Rossi thrown down to the surface. Crowd wanting a call, none coming. Zuccarello blocks a feed by Lindgren, and it ends up in the stands.
You know, watching Rossi, he has won 8 out of 12 face-offs that he has taken in this hockey game. And that face-off now is going to take place deep in the Avalanche zone. It's a much better game here tonight, Joe, that we're seeing than we saw the other night against Pittsburgh.
Off the face-off. The Avalanche able to come out. Lekkonen's pass tipped at center by the back-checking Hartman. Was able to hand it along Middleton. Feeds it to Faber. Up-ice dish, just a touch too far for Hartman. He may have had some room there, but the pass goes for icing.
Yeah, that's where that pass is so important. It's got to be tape-to-tape pass. Now it brings the face-off back to your own zone. And of course, anytime you have a draw in your own zone, that could be dangerous if you don't get it. Well, Wild fans, it's Madison St. Paul all March long. Whether you're craving for East Coast rivalry or Central Division collision, there's a ton of home games this month. Secure your seats at wild.com/hockey tickets. I mean, this is a lot of home games. 11 out of 15 at home for the month of March.
Tom McKinnon won the draw back. Shot by McCarr, deflected wide. Now a long drive from Taves is snatched by the glove of Gustafsson with 10:47 to go.
Pretty good crowd here also. Some of the people want to get involved in doing the wave. I'm not one of them.
Well, that's because it hasn't made its way up to the press box yet. I'm sure with the peer pressure, you join in. Middleton checked from an awkward spot. He went into the glass. Nichushkin came up with the puck. Works it to the point. McCarr snaps it D to D. Taves a shot. Glanced off Lekkinen and went wide. Left wing boards Foligno. Faked a big gulf out of his own zone, then just flipped it ahead. Taves picks it up. Wheels backwards in through his own slot. And now it's Cale McCarr. A left wing feed. Centering pass down to Chushkin, sent one wide, knuckled back out in front by Makar, nobody there. Chushkin to it, sent it along the boards. Hinostroza won the foot race, swats it down the ice. It'll come in. Oh, no, it won't. It'll hit the outside of the net. Blackwood carefully watching that puck. Another icing call in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, the referee is standing right over by the Minnesota bench right now, making sure that none of the players trying to sneak on the ice, because, of course, players can't change when there is an icing call against your team. 10:08 to go here. Beautiful day in St. Paul. This whole week is going to be very, very nice. Not good for the outdoor rinks, obviously.
Yeah, those melted about 10 days ago.
I know it.
Hartman and Nelson on the draw. Off the face-off, a quick shot, shouldered away by Gustafson, deflecting it into the netting as Coyle got to that puck off the one draw and rifled one towards the net.
So do you change your center iceman now to see if you can win the draw?
Freddie Gaudreau, who won just 5 of 15 draws Sunday, in large part because he was tasked with dealing with Sidney Crosby most of the afternoon. We'll deal with Brock Nelson here. And Nelson won 11 of 15 yesterday in their win over Chicago. He muscles this one back. Girard activates. Girard centered it, ricocheted around. Spurgeon hands it free. Gaudreau off the top of the dasher. Ross Colton kept the line, but the Wild swarm him, and Johansson starts ahead. Marcus Johansson over the offensive blue line, lost it for a moment, paddled it down low. Freddie Gaudreau, right wing corner, squeezed it along. Nyquist kept it coming. Johansson from low to high. Chisholm, a one-timer, knuckled off a body and found the glass. Nyquist races to it. That broke the stick of Brock Nelson, that Chisholm shot, so he's out there without his lumber momentarily. Johansson to the right point, Spurgeon, D to D, Chisholm activates against the stickless Nelson, fought through the pressure of Nelson, spins back, now Johansson a one-timer from long range off the glove of Blackwood, and the Avalanche clear the rebound to center. Both teams look to change on the fly with just over 9 minutes to go in the third. 23 saves for Gustafson, 18 for Blackwood at the other end. The Wild a 1-0 lead. Devon Shore gains the red line, pounds it in. Hurrying to it, Trenton skipped it deeper in the Avalanche zone. Lindgren back, reversed his footing and was able to sneak past some trouble. And now through center ice, the Avalanche lofted in off the tape of Jack Drury. Back for it, Merrill. Swung it around the boards. Colorado came up with it for a moment. Now reaching for it was Shore. A loose puck underneath a fallen Avalanche player, and it's hammered ahead. Trenyon's going to win the foot race, so Blackwood's going to come out, play this loose puck off his end wall to the left wing side for Lindgren. Lindgren snapped it along, turned over by Parker Kelly. His deflection was gobbled up by Bogosian. Zach Bogosian picks his head up, lugs it along, found Zuccarello. Sprung it down low, reaching for it, Boldy right wing corner, hounding him was Lehkonen. Now Rossi to keep in to Boldy, tried a cross ice pass, Zuccarello got to it, fired a tough angle shot, stick save Blackwood. And the rebound jostled up and out the center. Faber knocked it down, plucks it along Zuccarello, waits a few moments and then hammers it in. To the carom off the end glass is Rossi, shoveled it along for Boldy. Matt Boldy, left wing side offensive zone, turned and spun it around the boards again. Faber to crash down. Lehkonen bothers him, so Faber lifts it back around the end wall again. 7:50 to go. Good shift in the offensive zone for the Wild's top line. Boldy trying to squeeze it free. Lindgren took it away. Sprung it off his end glass. Faber read that play, galloped to it, jammed it towards the front of the net. Rossi came up with the puck, filtered it to the point. It's Middleton waiting. Now to Rossi, tipped it between his legs. Faber just stabbed it along for Boldy. Boldy trying to churn away from Lindgren. Lindgren took him down. Play continues. Zuccarello muscling one on the point. Faber just kept in, lifted in from Boldy. A shot in tight. Black with a save. Loose puck sat there for a moment. The Avalanche can't clear. Good keep by Middleton. Great pressure here by the Wild. Rossi below the goal line. Rips it up to the right point. Middleton flipped it along for Rossi outside the right circle. Pressure near the blue line. Couldn't get it as deep as he would have liked. And Lehkonen will feed it along where Nichushkin hits the red line and sends it in.
Great shift by Minnesota. A lot of aggression in that offensive zone as a result of that. Keeping the puck killing off that clock. Also with 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the third period. Minnesota leads 1-0.
Faber sits back behind his own net. A swing to his left, it's Hinostroza. It's launched along by Faber, tips into the Avalanche zone. Nelson back, played off his end wall. Not a lot of steam on that. The Wild nearly came up with it. Avalanche now barely able to get it out the center before Hinostroza's back on it for the Wild. Vinny Hinostroza with a right wing pass. Spurgeon punched it along. Over the blue line, Hartman tried to go cross ice. Stolen by Natchez. Natchez to weave it free for McCarr. McCarr, though, caught by Foligno on the backside pressure. He takes the puck away, does the big man, and then try to flip it along, but Taves intercepts. Natchez now carving ahead. Poke checked a couple of times. Leaned on them by Chisholm, so he rattled it off the Wild end glass. Hartman pokes it back. Spurgeon waits a few moments. Try to serve it back to the right wing side. Hartman batting at it, and Hinostroza got it just out through center. It'll knuckle back into the Avalanche zone. Both teams change again. Under 6 minutes to go. Girard feeds it along Kiviranta. Yoel Kiviranta through the Wild slot. Poked it into the corner off the goal stick of Gustafsson, who came out to keep that away from trouble. Malinsky, D-to-D. Girard, a spin move. A backhanded shot, and he scored. A backhander that was tipped by Kiviranta, and with 5:40 to go, the Avalanche have tied the game.
I guess my question was a high stick that got a piece of that puck. But wait and see what happens. If Kiviranta's going to get credit for the goal if it stands here, but on the backhand just comes in and just trying to get the puck to the front of the net, which he does. It's something there. Change direction, I believe, but it's going to come at 14 minutes and 20 seconds of the period.
Well, you got to be sure if you want to challenge this.
Yep.
And I don't know, Tom. It looked like it just hit something. I think John Hines maybe wants to know who it hit to determine whether or not it was played illegally. We'll get one more look here. Did it go off the glove of Colton, maybe? I mean, Colton was reaching out with his arm because that shot was sort of a floating, spinning backhander from 45 feet away.
Yeah, it doesn't appear there's any challenge at this point.
But I think the officials will check, because if that hit the glove of Colton, it's no goal, and the Wild wouldn't have to challenge, I wouldn't believe. So they're going to look at this.
Ricochet, as long as he doesn't swat it, it could hit a piece of equipment on him and count as a goal.
So Kiviranta was the one kind of, Girard pointed to him like he tipped it, but it was Colton that reaches out. But if it hit Colton and then Kiviranta, it's technically a hand pass, right?
I don't know they've deemed that.
So it definitely hit the low portion of the shaft of Kiviranta, just above the blade. That much we know, and it looked to be just below the goal line. But if it hit Colton's glove first, that's a hand pass. I don't know that they can tell definitively. It just kind of knuckled over the left shoulder of Gustafsson. And with 5:40 left right now, we've got a 1-1 game. Shots are 24-21 Colorado. Here is...
After review, the call on the ice stands. We have a good goal.
So there you have it.
So, disappointing for Minnesota fans and certainly for the Minnesota players right now. You know, keep battling. They've played hard in this game. This is not the time to let up because a goal goes in. It's a 1-1 game. You've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Crucial bounce-back shift. Top line against top line. Puck came free off the draw. Boldy couldn't find it. Nichushkin backhands it in. Faber right side, chiseling it along. Now Zuccarello spinning off a check, able to lug it just out the center. Taves, D-to-D, McCarr.
And number 70, Sam Malinsky, time of the goal, 14-20.
Taves up ice. Nichushkin tipped in. Faber rockets it the other way. Rossi got a piece of it. No icing. Rossi will go off for a change, shaking his left hand a bit with just over 5 minutes to go. Here is Taves. Critical 5 minutes, to say the least, for the Wild. Avalanche come in 6 points back of Dallas for second in the Central. They have played one more game than the Stars. Their playoff footing a bit more certain right now than the Wild. Vancouver in action at home against Montreal. That game is just underway. They're the team in ninth right now in the conference. Natchez centers a shot. Gustafsson shouldered it away. Chisholm soars the rebound the other direction. Foligno reached out, grabbed it, carries over the blue line, spun off a check, and then just forced it down low. Where Girard cuts around the net. Foligno took the puck from him, got it in front for a jab by Hartman, but it ricocheted wide. Chisholm pinched in. Hartman holds the stripe. A long shot blocked. Foligno tried to pick it up from the pile. Foligno looking for a shot, and he just couldn't pull the trigger. Foligno now diving. Worked it to the point. Chisholm. D-to-D Spurgeon. Feeds it down low. It leaks around the end wall. Hustling to it and initiating contact was Hinostroza. Try to cycle it off. Hinostroza steals, centers. Foligno taps to Spurgeon right side. A wrister. Black with the save. Foligno the rebound. It just wouldn't settle down. And the Avalanche clear safely the other way.
Well, great effort by Minnesota in this third period.
Icing waved off. It dies short of the goal line. Under 4 minutes to go. 1-1 in St. Paul. Chisholm headmans. Trenyon tipped along. It's cut off at center by Parker Kelly, who batted it in. Chisholm intercepts. Winds it the other way. Trenyon being held at center. Play now forced along by the Avalanche. Spurgeon, at the end of his shift, didn't have the legs to get back for it. Chisholm had to race to it instead. Chisholm now turning a puck over for a moment. Trying to get to it, Parker Kelly. Stapled to the glass by Chisholm. Brazzo sticks his nose into the scrum with 3.5 to go. Shore surveys. Puck jostled free. It's Lindgren scooping it along. Drury kept it coming. Kelly cycles off. Pinned to the corner for a moment, Logan O'Connor. He was able to force it loose. Here's Manson fanning on a one-timer. It's jabbed back through the Wild slot. Shore able to fight along right side and skip it through center. Wild nearly with too many men on the ice here.
Oh, that was close.
Boy, Shore didn't want to play the puck and then thought, I've got to. It's right there, but I don't think he knew guys behind him over his right shoulder were jumping over the boards. Under 3 minutes left. Faber dancing behind his own net with Nichushkin standing right in the kitchen of Philip Gustafson.
Yeah, good move by Faber. Just slowing things down a little bit.
Wild
Minnesota a chance to set up.
Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Dying minutes of the third. Faber waits some more. Bounced it along. Rossi got a piece of it to negate icing. Out with his goal stick comes Blackwood. Then he thought better of it, allowing McCarr to take over. McCarr stretch pass for Lehkonen. Lehkonen fighting his way along, his pass stolen by Boldy. Boldy ripped it up ice for Rossi, with Taves trying to watch him carefully. Rossi behind the back pass, Faber leading the rush. Faber around the net, threw it in front, and it just ricocheted wide. Boldy to hustle to it. Kept it alive for a moment. Rossi then fanned on a chance, and the Avalanche will get it through their own slot where McCarr settles it down. 2:08 left. 1-1 in St. Paul. McCarr casually along, now feeding it up for a tip-in by Kiviranta. After it went Coyle. A feed then for Colton, tried to sneak out in front, nothing there. Zuccarello left side, bounced it up, not out. Malinsky kept in. Goudreau, second effort, got it out to center.
Yeah, good play by Goudreau, just get out of his defensive zone.
Malinsky now on a reset for the Avalanche D. Pounds it in from the neutral zone. Spurgeon waits for it, right wing corner. On his backhand, just touched it off his end wall. Goudreau deep in his own zone, spins, checked, knifed it off the dasher, grabbing it Nyquist, hacked it ahead. Johansson, did he get a piece of it? He did not. It's icing with 1:28 to go.
Icing call going against Minnesota, as you call it, Joe. 1:28 to go in this third period, and the shots right now are 25-22 in favor of Colorado. Colorado getting that late goal. Kiviranta getting his 15th of the season. Girard, number 18 in the assist area. And Malinsky, the Minnesota youngster, gets his 8th assist on the year.
Draw to the right of Gustafson. Tie game. Goudreau on the crucial draw for Minnesota. Off the boards, Chisholm touched it back. Spurgeon skips it up into the air. Avalanche find it. Powering it in, O'Connor. Spurgeon races back, goes to initiate into one another. Goudreau joins the scrum for the Wild. It's jockeyed free. Kelly freed it up. Drury a shot. Gustafson to save. He didn't handle it cleanly. Back of the net they go with just over a minute left. Kelly to the point. McCarr dances with it. Johansson trying to stay with him. McCarr activates. Spins. Waits. Shoots. It's blocked. It comes back towards McCarr again. He'll just hammer it down low. 50 seconds to go. Taves thought about pinching in. The Wild able to clear through center. Hustling off on a change to Wild with 40 seconds left. Now McCarr slows the pace down as Colorado changes. Boldy tipped the pass. It ricochets ahead. Middleton scurries back for it. Pokes it along. Faber, right wing pass. Zuccarello to feed it through center. A rink-wide offering. The Boldy hustles too. Boldy spins, protects left circle. He was stick-checked, wrestled down.
Oh, wrestled is right.
20 seconds to go. Avalanche coming out with Lehkonen. He'll hit the red line. Dumps it in. 15 seconds left. Faber in his right wing corner trying to tie it up. It's jabbed free, but Middleton's there for Minnesota. Will leak out to his left and escapes some trouble by firing it ahead. 5 seconds to go. It's touchdown for Malinsky. Right wing side. Hacks it up ice. It deflects. And overtime needed in St. Paul, but the Wild secure a crucial point. They needed at least one tonight, you'd have to think, Tom, to just get some confidence back, and they get it here. We're headed for sudden death overtime.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. And the thing is, they will get some confidence because of the way they played in these three periods. To get a point tonight, that's a huge point, as you pointed out.
Sudden death overtime after this, 1-1 in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild. 60 minutes gone, but it's a 1-1 game. We go to overtime. Minnesota's been involved in 11 overtimes. They've won 7 of those 11. Colorado's been involved in 7. They've won 5. And then in the 3-on-3, Minnesota, in the 7 times they've gone 3-on-3, they are 5-2 in that stretch. And when you look at Colorado, they've had 5. They've won 4 of the 5. So we'll see what happens right now as they line up on 3-on-3. The goaltenders have changed ends on the ice. And this where, as we know, Joe, puck possession is so critical when it drops to the ice.
Well, I was starting to nod my head because I thought you were going to say this is where you really miss Kaprizov, Brodin, Eriksson Ek, but they're not coming out of that tunnel anytime soon and over the boards onto the ice. So the Wild have to try and find a way here. Rossi, Boldy, Faber to start. McKinnon, Nichushkin, and Makar for the Avalanche. No scoring in the first. Zuccarello halfway through the second gave the Wild a 1-0 lead, his 15th of the year. With 5:40 left, Kiviranta tied it on a deflection. And that's where we stand now. The Wild win the draw. Faber forced all the way back of his cage. Wild from left to right on your radio dial here in sudden death overtime. The crowd standing in St. Paul. Faber took the pass from Rossi, gave it back to Rossi. Now a left wing feed, Boldy. Matt Boldy over the blue line, swerves left wing side, and he'll take it back out to the neutral zone.
Yeah, don't want to give the puck away. Take your time coming into the offensive zone.
Now Brock Faber for the Wild, who has an overtime winner this year, came on the road in Dallas. He'll charge his way in on one-on-one against Makar. Faber jammed on the brakes, hands it off to Boldy, who activates. Boldy down below the goal line, hacks it around the end wall. That'll send Faber all the way back into Minnesota ice. Both teams will get at least a partial change. Right now, only Faber remains out from the start of overtime for the two sides. And Faber now motioning for some support back his way with almost a minute played in sudden death overtime. Again, the Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Faber finds Zuccarello, charges ahead. Faber now to gallop off to the bench as Zuccarello found Marcus Johansson. Twists his way in and then plucked it all the way back into the Wild zone. Spurgeon, by the way, replacing Faber.
Minnesota's not giving up the puck yet.
Spurgeon now charges up, hands it back. Zuccarello has the Wild's only talent. He'll crisscross with Johansson. Marcus Johansson through the neutral zone. Carries in, his pass a little out of stride. The Wild have to reset again. But they still have the puck. Johansson takes a return pass from Spurgeon, backhanded along Zuccarello. Carves back out through the neutral zone with a buck 35 played in overtime. Spurgeon jumps off, Faber replaces him. Zuccarello darts in, wristed a shot blocked to the corner by Taves. Rescued first by Zuccarello, sent up top Faber, handed along. Boldy has a lane left side, but it closed quickly. Nate just bothered him, so Boldy just played it to Faber, but it left the zone, and the Wild are offside.
Yep, they have not given up the puck at all, and they've had 3:11 to go here in the 5-minute sudden death overtime. This was a good job, very composed out here also, Joe, which I like. They're not getting rattled. They're holding on to the puck as long as they possibly can, which has been majority of this sudden death at this point.
Neutralized draw. The Wild win it. Boldy falling down, swatted it back. Faber pressured by Drouin, so he cuts to his right. Brock Faber hounded, ripped it up ice. Boldy trying to race to it, but Makar's going to get there just ahead of an icing call. So the Avalanche for the first time have the puck. Drouin, McKinnon, Makar. From right to left on your radio dial, Nathan McKinnon. The league's leading point getter charges in, pivots at the left circle, protects the puck a bit. Now just rolls it back out to the neutral zone for Cale Makar. Makar Darts in, cuts through the slot, lost it, gets it back left wing side, waits and plays it up top. McKinnon trying to shake past Boldy. Nathan McKinnon on the interchange, stays with it, and then had it slashed away. It'll leak out to center. McCarr jumps off, so does Drouin as McKinnon tries to work in on 3 Wild players. Now Nichushkin, a right circle move, dance past the check, cut in front with the backhander, great left kick save, Gustafsson, he stayed with it and fought it off. The Wild come up with the puck, Boldy protects and try to push it to Faber, but he wasn't ready for it.
No, he didn't know where it was.
Girard darts back in, Samuel Girard, Godfrey, a backhanded shot, Gustafsson the save. Wild in some trouble here. 2 minutes left in overtime, but Minnesota finally has puck possession again. They'll get some fresh bodies out.
Yeah, Gus has come up big for Minnesota in this hockey, and certainly in the overtime.
Faber content to sit back of his net. Zuccarello and Johansson join him. Faber behind the net of Gustafsson. A left wing pass. It's Johansson cutting through his own low slot. Winds his way up right wing boards Johansson. Charges into the Avalanche zone. Johansson cuts high slot. Crisscrossing gave it to Zuccarello. Zuccarello looking for some help. Try to paddle it to Spurgeon. It was tipped. Spurgeon able to grab it. Goal line pass right wing side. Johansson swinging through the high slot. Johansson now left side. Leaned on. All the way around the net. Centered. Zuccarello's shot. Deflected just wide. Spurgeon and Zuccarello back to the captain Spurgeon. Now Zuccarello can't keep in. He'll have to play it back out at center. 65 seconds to go. The crowd's still standing. Zuccarello around his own net. Got Natchez to follow him back there. Zuccarello now leads the pack ahead. Charges into the Colorado zone. Try to drop pass. Boldy able to grab it. Nearly gave it up. Stays on puck possession as Boldy at the left point, and then thinks better of it, peeling back out to center again.
Yeah, good move by Boldy. That allows Zuccarello to eventually get a fresh body out there.
45 seconds left in overtime. 1-1 here in St. Paul as Boldy headmans. Rossi's got some space. Marco Rossi into the offensive zone. Cuts through the high slot. Weaves past some trouble. Feather to feed the Boldy. Boldy navigating at the point. Just took it back out to center for Rossi. Half minute to go. A return pass to Boldy. He'll wait on his half of the red line for a few moments, and then with McKinnon pressuring, it's punched back along for Rossi. Just 20 seconds left in overtime now. Rossi behind his own net. Hands it off to Faber. Faber took a look. Dozen seconds in overtime. Faber casually ahead. Picks up the pace. Curls back. Waits a few moments. Got it to Boldy. Boldy over the blue line. 3 to go in overtime. Boldy cuts. Boldy shoots one. Glove save. Blackwood with a half second left in overtime.
Well, Minnesota's done a nice job of controlling the puck in this 5-minute sudden death overtime. Shots right now have the Avalanche with a total of 28 in this hockey game. That means they've had 2 so far in the overtime, and Minnesota now has 23. They've had 1 shot in overtime.
They're going to check the clock here. They put basically a second back on 1.6. I wonder if you pull Gustafsson here in overtime. Doesn't look like they're going to. Hartman, Faber, Boldy. Hartman the right shot with 1.6 on the clock in a tie game. Sudden death overtime. Boldy tried to get a jump start towards the front of the net. Puck drop. Hartman snuck it through and then tried to fire it in front. But we're going to the shootout.
Oh boy, shootout it is. So get a chance to figure out who's going to be on the ice, who's going to represent the teams, and they're coming out with the scrapers now to get the excess snow off at this point.
Shootout follows this. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Minnesota's been involved in 4 shows this year. They've won 2, they've lost 2. Both those wins came off the stick is number 12, that being Bowling against Utah and Washington. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, they have
Zuccarello in with a shot. He scores! Opening round shooter. And he snuck it stick side, banged out of the meshing and back out through the slot. That's how quickly Matt Zuccarello buried it. Gave the Wild a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he's very comfortable going in that position also, Joe. No question about it. That's a huge goal for Zuccarello and, more importantly, for his team.
Nathan McKinnon now, the league's leading scorer to go for the Avalanche. From left to right on your radio dial, 0 for 1 in shootouts this year. Gustafsson out to greet him. McKinnon in through the slot. Backhand, forehand. A shot stopped by Gustafsson. Make you dizzy with those stick handling moves.
Yeah, he's got fast hands there, but Gustafsson is equal to the task on that one.
Matt Boldy now for the Wild. Tom can really put a stamp on this shootout with the Wild leading at the top of round 2, 1-0. Boldy on the air, 2 out of 4. As Tom said, 2 game-deciding goals. Will pick up the puck from right to left on your radio dial. Into the Avalanche zone, wide right, now through the middle of the ice. Made a move to his backhand. He scores!
What a move. What a move.
Now the Wild are a save away from Philip Gustafsson from winning this hockey game. Shot fake, turned into his backhand, he roofed it. Blackwood didn't have a prayer. It's Martin Necas now. Acquired from the Hurricanes in that Mikko Rantanen deal. He's 0 for 1 on the season. He'll pick up the puck, starts wide left. Gustafsson out to greet him. Necas through the high slot, fumbled it, got it back, lost it, and the Wild win! Necas fumbled it into the corner. Gustafsson didn't even have to flinch, and Minnesota gets a huge 2 points in the standings. They beat the Avalanche 2-1 in the shootout.
Joe, it's interesting. I was looking at the lineup before this game, and I thought, look at the firepower on this other side. Minnesota's going to have to play a strong game to win this one. You know what? They did. They did exactly what they had to do. A little bit of a slow start for the first 6-7 minutes, but they picked up from that point on, and they were successful and deserved this win here tonight. Great job by everyone. Minnesota winning this contest by a 2-1 margin, and being at center ice right now to celebrate their victory in front of their hometown fans.
The 2-game skid is over. A much-needed victory, especially at home. Philip Gustafsson with his 10th career shootout win. And the Wild get goals from Zuccarello and Boldy in the first 2 rounds to put the pressure there on Necas to extend the game. He lost the puck harmlessly away to the left of Gustafsson and down off the end wall. And Tom, the Wild don't care about giving a point to the Avalanche in the standings. I don't care who in the dressing room will tell you otherwise. I know they still want to try to catch Colorado, but they've got to try to just get into the playoffs at this point with all their players out and the regular season winding down. So 2 points, certainly better than 1 tonight. Minnesota gets it done.
You know, they have to look after themselves. They can't worry about what the other team